The college football experience week 10 preview and conference realignment talk on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Download the WinBet app now or visit winbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy football on Sleeper, so check this out, because now you can win cold hard cash with their brand new over under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It is free to download. And right now we just relaunched our merch store where you can get all your favorite SGPN gear. I mean, they even got a jigsaw puzzle of Real Money Kramer. All right. Just go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. All right. To play that jigsaw puzzle and let it ride, people. All right.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the college football experience week 10 preview and also conference realignment episode. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
Nobody knows nothing.
Somebody knows. Double the price, but no one touches Dundee.
College football just celebrated America, and college football might have blew up like one of those fucking fireworks. All right, I am joined by my co-host, former JMU Duke defensive back. Give it up for the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Can we save college football? Yeah.
Looking pretty doubtful.
We are also joined by a third man in the booth. He didn't get a chance to react with us last week, but he was up in the mountains again. 2 weeks ago he was in Maine. Last week he was up checking out the granola in the hills of North Carolina. We are joined by the ACC god himself. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, brew making, Tobacco Road living, the free lock giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. And hey, look, it's vacation time, man. You got to get all these vacations in before, the football really heats up.
That is true. And each of these past 2 years, as someone that's covered college football and loved college football since the early 90s, all of us, but normally years past, not last year, but before that, you would have just pretty quiet off seasons. But this off season is
2 in a row.
Is just, I mean, I don't know if I don't have an explosion sound, but I'll just play this.
There's far too much drama for my heart to handle this.
I mean, this is I mean,
if I can change and you can change, everybody can change.
And apparently the conferences are assuming that, because hopefully you listen to our instant reaction. Me and Patty C did an instant reaction show. By the way, subscribe on YouTube to the College Football Experience so you can watch this show. But folks, now we've had some time to sleep on it. We've had some time to sleep on it. I know I was negative Nancy, and I am still negative Nancy, but just because I think it's absolutely ridiculous that USC and UCLA are in the Big Ten. Do we, Patty? I mean, let's get NC Nick's thoughts first, because the hopefully you went out and listened to us while you were grilling your steaks and shooting explosives into the air. So NC Nick, you haven't had the floor yet. What is your reaction on the brand new Big Ten and the potential, it seems like, demise of the Pac-10/12 and perhaps the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yeah, I mean, you guys brought up a lot of good points, and I share a lot of the same concerns. College football is no longer going to be regional. We loved it when it was regional conferences. You'd have maybe a big non-conference game from a team in the South versus a West Coast team, or a bowl game where you don't see two teams facing off. But yeah, the California teams in the Big Ten, and it's only going to get worse. But at the same time, I mean, we should have all saw this coming. It was just a matter of time. We didn't know which dominoes would fall first. We didn't know that USC and UCLA would join the Big Ten, but we knew that the Power 5 or 4, or just say the top, 60 teams in the country were going to consolidate. And it's not all bad. A lot of it is bad. Chances are we won't have the Apple Cup and the Civil War and Bedlam and all those other great regional rivalries.
And how about Duke Carolina basketball potentially on the ropes?
Well, basketball, and I told you this when we were just chatting, college basketball is like the innocent bystander that gets gunned down in the college football drive-by, but I think we'll have a separate pod just on how it affects college basketball. And it sucks even worse for college basketball, definitely. But if we're just focusing on college football, I don't want to be negative Nancy. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So there are some positives that could come out of this.
Well, having just talked to Colby for about 2.5 hours before this, good luck convincing of any of the positives here.
Yeah.
Well,
and 5
I think
years.
Sean and Ryan did a good job of highlighting some of those positives.
I didn't. I thought they made terrible points, in my opinion.
Well, no, I mean, I think that, and
I love those guys, but they're TMZ college football fans.
Well,
and I thought that I do not get excited for USC at Wisconsin or at Ohio State or something. I mean, yes, I watch every game, but I look, Patty C told me he went to a USC Ohio State game in the Coliseum in the mid 2000s. I didn't even remember that they played. But yet I could tell you, I remember games against Arizona, the regional battles. Because those games are okay. It's great if you have a top 5 matchup. I get somewhat excited, but I still would rather watch a rivalry than these TMZ games.
No, I mean, I totally agree with all that. But the way college football is right now, to have, for example, Georgia State and Georgia competing for the same championship is kind of crazy. To have USC and Wyoming competing for the same championship is kind of crazy. And the playoffs are not going to get expanded large enough or quick enough to satisfy all of the mid-majorish college football that we love. So if they do something where there is a playoff for the power conferences and then a separate playoff for everybody else, that could be a lot of fun. And those were the points that Sean and Ryan were making that I thought definitely, had merit, because
but do we even know?
Who's not going to watch all that?
I mean, I need to know that that's definitely going to happen.
I just outright disagree that, the likes of a hot BYU team or whatever, a Wyoming shouldn't be able to compete in one single playoff with,
we just saw
if they're having their best year ever, maybe they can compete.
Cincinnati just had 9 players drafted.
Yeah.
Well, clearly they were
also, who's going to are they going to let them compete? And
yeah, that's
so
the tough
far
part.
They haven't.
Yeah,
so
that's why it just needed to
be
expand. You didn't need to destroy the whole system and then separate them. You just needed to expand the playoff and then not put them against the most talented team in the country over the last decade and a half, and then see if they're able to succeed.
If we had the power to do that, then yeah, there would be a better solution than to what's going on. But unfortunately, we don't.
I was talking to a buddy of mine. I was talking to a buddy of mine who went to Wazoo, right? And he's a lawyer now, but his parents have had season tickets. He's had season tickets, and his grandparents have had season tickets all the way back, I think, to the 1960s or something. But And you know, first off, his first thing was he was of the belief that like, hey, this is because the NIL. He said like the NIL was going to let anyone into the party, and this elevates these schools to the next level where they can tell who can come to the party or not. So that was his first reaction. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was he said, you know, Washington State goes, if we end up in the Mountain West, he goes, I'm not re-upping on season tickets. He goes, before part of the fun was we got a chance to play Oregon. We got a chance to play USC. He goes, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with it. If that's what they're going to do to us.
I think that might be in the minority, especially if like Wazoo or Oregon State is very good in the Mountain West. If they're doing like 10-2 seasons, people in Pullman are still going to root for their guys. I think small town college football is not going anywhere. I think small town college football is as robust as it ever has been, and I think it'll continue to flourish.
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, people in Pullman, there's if let's assume what everyone's speculating that Oregon State and Washington State are going to be asked out. I can tell you this: there's going to be a shit ton of unemployed people, and that's not good.
Capitalism, buddy.
Yeah.
Capitalism.
But
America.
I say, on the chat, Patrick Ives is saying that the suits are ruining college football, and there's there's some validity to that as well. It's really the power players. I think what has come to the surface is really the TV stations. This is mostly ESPN and Fox.
Evil, man, because for over 100 years, first off, college football succeeded without TV for a long time. And now to be, deeming our whole future with it by TV execs, to me,
I mean,
I'm in Hollywood, man. I'm TV execs that want to make fucking Weekend at Bernie's 3. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to leave it up to them. That's a scary thought to me.
Between Kleovkov and the new guy from Rock Nation, Jay-Z's entertainment conglomerate, what have you, taking over the Big 12. They're not only calling the shots like from the behind the scenes, they're actually being put in the position of power to run the conferences as the administrator. So it is completely about TV and money, which is terrible for, respecting the traditions of the sport and the rivalries, which clearly have been thrown to get the fuck out of here. If you're going to ever say tradition, like the bowl system, if you're going to try and say that's a legitimate, important part of the game, and then throw everything else away.
Yeah,
get out of my face with it. Get out of my face.
I could just. That's what's going to be great. Is we don't know who it will be, but you're going to hear an athletic director or a school president or a commissioner for one of these leagues say that in the next couple of months, and they're going to say, yeah, we care about the pride, the tradition. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, because we clearly, I made this case last week. I said, when has expansion actually led to a better system? Like we've lost so many great rivalries. Okay, now in this scenario, Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC. We get Texas and Texas A&M. Thank you. That is one that we want back, right? But for all the other cases, I can't think of anything that's really gotten better. Can you guys?
Well, I think that's the nature of throwing away a rivalry. I mean, you could say some new rivalries have started, but we're 3 years into a lot of them as opposed to 100 years. So I think definitely
it takes time. Yeah, I mean, it takes time. You can't force rivalries. Like when Penn State joined the Big Ten, they tried to get Michigan State as their rivals. So they always play the last game of the year, and it was just like, no, nobody's buying this. They're not rivals. You can't fabricate a rival. It takes a long time. And it takes usually, geographic proximity as well, because what is a rivalry? It is people in the same towns or very close to each other that went to the same schools or a different school right down the road, or they grew up in the same high school, but one went here, one went there, and it's close people talking about it, going to the games, having that passion. And no, you're not going to get that with UCLA at Wisconsin or something.
Well, I saw someone mention that when they said, like, if Utah goes, since Nebraska is no longer in the Big 12, if Colorado and Utah go to the Big 12, is Utah going to be their rivalry game because they have BYU? And I saw, like, I think it was Colorado fans or something saying they've tried to force that rivalry on us. We don't. It's no, the fans don't get excited. I mean, yes, They want to win the game, but it's the same
Just
as
like any other one.
Yeah, it's like before. You had
Right.
different rivals, Colorado State and Nebraska, and those have been taken off the schedule.
But tell me this though, would it not be pretty cool if there was 2 separate playoffs, each with like, I don't know, 16 teams, or who knows the number? You'd have the power playoff and you'd have the lower level playoff.
I mean, the FCS playoff is awesome.
Yeah, the FCS playoff is fantastic. D2 playoff, we watch all that shit.
Yeah.
But it's still part of the fun of college sports. It's like why
The upset, the David versus Goliath.
Well, and teams coming up and down. There are certain teams that have stayed dominant, but like the whole equation of college football is like you could be who's a small school that's like come up and done great things. Miami was shit in the 70s. In the 80s, they become the best team in the whole country.
UCF's going to be in Cincinnati. Going to be. I mean, they're going to be in the Big 12, which we thought would be.
Stanford
there's so many levels to this.
Apart.
There's so many levels. I almost think if you're Cincinnati, you kind of wish you were still in the AAC because you'd be able to run that table. And I don't think the money. I mean, the future Big 12 TV deal, I do think will be better in the AAC. But the question is, will it be that much better? Because you're going to end up going probably 8-4, 9-3. As opposed to going 12-0 in the AAC and having a seat. If you're going to the same fucking playoff, wouldn't you rather have the automatic bid? I don't know. That's what's crazy about all of this. But the Big 12 also hilarious because they're the conference aside from the Big 10 and SEC that looks like they have the most stability right now. I mean, who could have seen that one coming?
And we were talking about this a little bit, and really it was all just luck and timing. Since they got rated, when Texas and Oklahoma leaving last year, they were able to make the first move and to secure those new 4 teams coming in, because if it all happened at the same year, then those schools might have went Pac-12, they might have went ACC. So really the Big 12 is very fortunate just timing wise. It's not like they did anything to put themselves in a good situation. They were just lucky that Texas and Oklahoma left a year sooner.
And GBO Farms is in the chat. Shout out to GBO Farms and Patrick Ives. Hop in the chat if you have any questions. We'll try our best to answer them. But he says, does this make the FCS more attractive for the FBS teams in the small, for the smaller teams in the FBS? And he also said, if you're New Mexico State, UMass, ULM, why not just go to the FCS at this point? I mean, that's an interesting point, but I guess we got to see what happens within the Sun Belt and some of these independents. And I know New Mexico State's on the verge of joining the Conference USA. I mean, who knows if any of these? I don't know how it's going to shake out. It's terrible, but let me give you a little bit of hope. All right, I'm trying not to be negative, Nancy here. All right, let's say the Pac-10, this offer with the Big 12, this thing happens, and what is it? Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, Oregon, and Washington are in the Big 12, which would then be Big 18, right? Let's say Stanford and Cal are in the Big 10 with Notre Dame. Washington State and Oregon State, it seems like Mountain West, independent, I don't know.
Most likely.
And then the ACC unfortunately comes crashing down with the it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Colby's it's happening.
So convinced. Colby's so convinced.
Well, they need Notre Dame. If they don't,
why
have
do
Notre
you
Dame,
think Stanford and Cal are joining the Big 10? I don't think USC and UCLA want them there, because if they did, they would have
Notre
already
Dame
joined.
wants them there.
Why?
And Notre Dame wants Stanford because that's a rival. And we've also been told, we have a source that says Notre Dame and Stanford will definitely be in the Big 10. Now we'll see if this source is accurate here, but
I think this is Colby's wishful thinking.
I'm serious.
I think Colby wants Notre Dame to be forced to be in a conference so badly. So even though he says this is terrible for college football, this is what he's been praying for Notre Dame for as long as I can remember.
This is what I woke up to, buddy. This is what I woke up to. Read right there.
Notre Dame going to the Big 10, announcing next week.
Yes.
Per insider, Stanford as well.
That is a text message with Stanford. Now, who knows if that's true?
I've heard a lot of rumors.
But the reality
I'm not saying
is
that's not true. But
there is no way Notre Dame doesn't take this. Money speaks, man.
Dude,
And
they make $50 million a year right now with NBC.
that's not enough.
That doesn't include the home games that they or the road games that they get with ESPN, where they're making a shit ton of money through that.
But
the question is $100 million?
It's going to be way more than 100. It's 100 without Notre Dame right now.
That's true.
It's going to be way more than that.
Well, what I don't understand is they're talking about a billion, right? Projecting over $1 billion, but there's going to be 16 teams, so that doesn't equal 100 million.
I think it's going to be more than that. But another reason I hear that the Big Ten is obsessed with having a footprint in Silicon Valley.
That makes sense. I think they go get those schools.
They'll at least grab Stanford. I think I've been told. Who knows? I could be wrong. College football is batshit crazy, but I do think the ACC cannot exist without Notre Dame. And I know they're talking. Pete Thamel said this thing. What do we say? The American Coast Conference with the Pac-12 and the ACC, or Pac-10, I guess, in the ACC having a championship game in Las Vegas. First off, the game in Vegas, that's absolute shit. Don't play at that filthy stadium. All right, play this at Arrowhead in Kansas City.
Or Mile High.
Talk
or
to me, yes. And that's not even neutral. What the fuck? You're gonna play it in Vegas? It's gonna be all what's going on here? But my point is this: is what I was trying to be positive about was if that happens and North Carolina chooses between the Big Ten or SEC like they're speculating, and Miami, Florida State, and Clemson are all in the SEC. And there's a bunch of teams just looking for homes, probably trying to form some type of conference.
The whole Northeast, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the Big 12, which would be the Big 18 then, would grab Pitt and perhaps maybe Duke or Wake Forest. So you have that rich Duke Wake Forest rivalry, or Duke NC State, right? They might be able to grab Virginia Tech rivalry. You would then also have West Virginia Pitt and West Virginia Tech rivalry. And then you mix that with all these other rivalries. I think Cincinnati, West Virginia could be fun, regional. Then you have your Texas rivalries, your Houston added to
It's like
the
a
Big 12.
super conference USA.
No, but it has these Houston, Texas Tech, Houston, Baylor, Houston, TCU,
actual great
right?
rivalries.
Then you have Arizona State. You can still have the Colorado, Utah thing. Utah, BYU. Hello, that's awesome. Kansas State. So in a way, you can kind of play into that, and I think you could market it saying we didn't sell out. We want the rivalries. We want the heartbeat of college football, and I think that has merit because people like me would say, "Fuck the SEC and the Big Ten. I want to watch the Big 28 or whatever the fuck that's called. Let's do it!" And shout out to the Sun Belt and Mountain West.
Yeah, let's not lie. I mean, we're gonna watch all the games, and we're gonna, pick all the games. We're gonna bet all the games. Okay. Yeah, the SEC and the Big Ten might be slightly evil, but it is what it is.
No,
it's still college football.
they're not
There'll
even
still be
evil.
great games.
They're not even evil because they had to do it.
Yeah.
If not, they would have went to the SEC, or likewise, like Texas. If Texas and Oklahoma, it's really their fault. It's really the schools.
Greg Sankey and
no,
Texas.
I can't even blame Sankey.
It's an arms race. It's an arms race. If you don't do it, the other conference might.
That's what I'm saying. Texas is the true evil culprit here because they started this shit with the Longhorn Network a long fucking time ago. Death to Texas. All right.
Well, getting back to a little bit what I think GBO Farms was getting at is that, if all this has left a sour taste in your mouth, well, then lean in more to the Sun Belt, to the Mountain West, to the FCS. There's still a ton of good college football out there. Like me, this took us by surprise last week, and I was like, it left a bad taste in my mouth. So the 2 college football trips, the 2 games I have tickets for this year, 2 Sun Belt games. All right, go support a conference like that isn't selling out. If that's your stance, if you're more of the TMZ variety, then enjoy everything, because I'll still be enjoying everything. So I don't want to come off like too negative Nancy because this is a lot of bad, but it could be some good as well.
Well, which games are you going to, Nick?
Dude, JMU
one of them's on this list here.
Teaser. The other one is JMU at App State.
Boom.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it.
Well, that's a new rivalry too, but at least it's geographic. But that'll have more history by the time USC and UCLA join than UCLA versus Purdue will have. So that's going to be a historic rivalry pretty soon here.
UCLA Purdue, and I actually want to key in on this before we jump into the draft. I thought this was a great thing from a great in the message board. A WVU fan. Jeez, I can't talk. I swear I'm sober too. He basically gave a big spiel on how none of this is fun. He goes, us in the Big 12 is a perfect example of why, college football is a regionalized sport, and it should be always, because it doesn't fit. He goes, we never get excited. Yes, every Saturday are we going to show up to support West Virginia, but we don't really care if we're playing Baylor. Like, we don't care. Like, if we're playing Marshall, if we're playing Pitt, if we're playing Virginia Tech, if we're playing, Maryland, Virginia, we're okay. Now we care, and it doesn't matter if we're 0-7 when we play them or 0-10. I thought he made a great point by that, saying that we are the perfect example. We've been in 3 conferences over the past 20 years, and this thing has gotten worse and worse, and we don't even care as a fan. Oh, we're playing Baylor? That's supposed to be our rivals?
Hard to get up for TCU coming to town.
Yeah. You never interact with a Baylor fan throughout the entire year until that game, and then you never see him again.
Right.
Yeah. GBO Farms chiming in saying change sucks at first, but no one bats an eye at South Carolina or Arkansas in the SEC or Miami in the ACC. I guarantee you this, buddy. Arkansas fans bat an eye at that because I think they were dominant in the SWAC. They've become a doormat. Sam Pittman's kind of brought them out a little bit, but they have not been nearly what they were.
Well, and who's Arkansas's rival?
Even Miami.
As soon as A&M joined the conference, the LSU Arkansas end of season rivalry was dumped, and LSU takes on A&M, and they're trying to, that 7 overtime game. Oh, your rivalry is delivered. Yeah, everyone's trying to get a rivalry. Guess what? Arkansas doesn't really have a real rival in the SEC even now. And they had that with Texas back when they were competitive in the 70s with them.
Yeah.
So
and Miami is one that
you're kind of an afterthought in the SEC. Even now, Arkansas, and you've been in there for 30 years.
And we made that case with Oklahoma. Yes, Oklahoma is a blue blood, but they don't produce a ton of in-state talent, just like Arkansas doesn't. And there's a chance you could end up like Arkansas if by entering all this, with playing these big super conferences. Watch out.
Lucky Oklahoma is going to be traveling with Texas, because Texas was Arkansas's lifeblood back then, much like it's been for Oklahoma. But now Oklahoma is fortunate enough to bring Texas with them. So,
and that South Carolina departing the ACC for the SEC, I think that was like the early 70s. So
yeah, they were but South Carolina went independent for a while.
Did they go in? I was about to say, I don't even remember. Well, I don't remember. We weren't born when all that transpired, so I don't know what led to that. But I don't know.
I was just hoping. I kind of want East Carolina to join the Sun Belt now. That's my thing as an ECU fan. Let's go Sun Belt,
dude. They would fit in perfectly.
They should expand. Sunbelt should grab East Carolina, UAB, Western Kentucky, and UTSA.
Yeah,
I don't know. UTSA might be too big of a city. You
That's
might
a
have
big
to go
stretch of the.
You might have to go like
North Texas.
I don't know. Going from Virginia to Texas doesn't feel like a super regional conference.
Well, who gives a fuck now? Every conference is.
Isn't that the whole thing you're talking about? What makes the SEC?
No, but ULM at Texas, they have the Sunbelt West. Yeah,
no,
Texas State. They're already in Texas.
It's a contiguous conference with good regionality, because there's enough teams and they all kind of fit together. But the further and further west you stretch, the more that becomes like the same thing we're talking about.
And I had never heard the word contiguous before all this happened. So
I am educating you guys right now.
Look, there was a great tweet that Los Angeles is closer to Honduras, the country, than Piscataway, and that's a fact. Mileage wise, closer to Honduras than Piscataway.
What is
L.A.
Wow.
So it's basically like, and then I saw a great other tweet that Rutgers benefits from having 0 conference championships in their sport, and
despite their 153 year history.
Yeah, and it went through, and it said, "Oh, it's glad to know that they're going to be making over $100,000 a year." $100 million. What am I? $100,000. $100 million a year on their the new Pac-12 TV deal. $100,000 each. All right, $100,000 for each program.
That's right.
Shop to you drop. All right.
It's Rutgers. 153 years of football.
That's what's hilarious.
The only important game they ever played was the first game.
It's like Purdue just gets a pass. It's like, come on. I mean,
Vanderbilt.
let's be honest. Vanderbilt gets. I mean, Oregon's been a fucking great program for like 30 years, and they might be asked out of this.
Yeah.
You know, some of the ACC schools. You know, Pitt is better than Vanderbilt. I mean, this is fucking crazy. It's absolutely insane. Hop in the chat, people. Patty C dropping the word of the day on us, says Joe Hackney. Shout out to Joe Hackney. Great tweet with the belt. What was that? The Intercontinental Championship belt with the college
world
football
champion belt.
Yeah, world champ, whatever the fuck it was. Fantastic stuff. That deserves a classic Ric Flair.
There it is.
Maybe we need an intercontinental conference. If I said that correctly, intercontinental
It's a
conference.
tough word, man. I'm not even drinking. I'm like, intercontinental. It's like
The
Dumb and
ICC.
Dumber. It's like Dumb and Dumber when he struggles with the. He's like ta. That's the. All right, look, we're gonna get to our draft week 10 stuff. College football. Look, we'll be here through it all. We love football. The USFL just ended. We love football so much we cover it year fucking round. All right, here on the College Football Experience, and also we host the USFL Gambling Podcast. So like NC Nick said, when USC is playing that heated rivalry matchup with Maryland in College Park, we still will be covering it despite how terrible of a game that will be. We love football. All right, so shop to you drop, and look. I want to tell you that the College Football Experience is brought to you by WinBet. Yes. And WinBet right now, bet $50 at WinBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Download the WinBet app now or visit winbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and start winning today. All right, folks. If you haven't been listening to us, you've been living under a rock. Well, we've previewed this is week 10. But we previewed 10 other weeks because week 0 counted as one. So go listen to all those episodes. They're evergreen, as the youth say, Patty C. Youth? I can't fucking talk. But let's hop into this. We're drafting the top 30 games of each week. I actually, I was mad last week because I thought week 9 was the first really good week in like 4 weeks. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be at the SGPN studio God's Eye for that Saturday. I'm going to be in College Station with the 12th man rocking.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, Colby.
Complaining, right?
You go to those SEC games, you're selling out.
That's true. Well, it's free. I'm not paying for these. All right. I got field passes. All right.
I'd go too any day.
I'm going to check the turf. All right. Make sure it's not a dome.
Colby is part of the 12th man.
Look, as long as I don't give a shit. All right. Let's
go
do
pet
this.
that dog? That Lassie?
If I get drunk enough, a good chance I get bit by Lassie.
Colby can't help himself. He's got to pet the dog.
Let's hop into this though as we draft the top 10. This is another great week. I thought when I went through this week, I guess before we hop into it, I think this is I think you can make a case it's the best week of the season.
Depth wise for sure. Like I had to leave games off of the top 30. I was trying to squeeze them in there. I think last week might have had more top games up top, but depth wise, this is probably the deepest week so far.
Dude, this is pretty top heavy too. There's some great games.
It is.
Let's hop into it. NC Nick will be drafting first. I'll be second and Patty C will be third on the draft order. So, without any further ado, NC Nick.
Well, I mean, perhaps the most impactful game of the last 5 years, the last decade, maybe. Alabama at LSU. Even last year, it was only 20-14 in Tuscaloosa, and LSU had every chance to win it.
Oh,
so this is a great game. It is every year. Do you disagree?
No. Last year it just killed me.
Okay.
Lawn Chair Johnson had 30. Max Johnson is now at A&M. Man, they should have won this game. I mean, Alabama gave them every chance to beat them, and they just could not put it together. Patty C, Bama at LSU. I've been down to Baton Rouge. That is an awesome. That is exactly. At least the SEC. I mean, look, I get it. They're including a couple of these teams that just have it. This is like the Sun Belt, all right, in Baton Rouge. It's just
it is college football.
Yes, that is the heart of college football. The heartbeat of college football is that experience.
It's beautiful.
All right, now at Minnesota. I don't know that I can say the same.
Minnesota brings
Row
a
the
nice
boat,
crowd.
though. Row in the boat.
That's right.
Row in the
Don't
boat.
take shots at Minnesota. Alabama winners of 10 of the last 11 in this rivalry. However,
is it a rivalry? But that's another thing. Is I grew up with a good friend of mine, diehard Alabama fan. His whole family was, and I'll say this: in the '90s, LSU was not known as a rival. So I this is something that's came on lately. A lot of people think, oh, they've been hated rivals forever. No,
well, let me tell you
not
what.
the case. Not the case.
Prior to that, 2000 to 2011, Alabama only won 4 and lost, I believe, 9 during that time, or maybe 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
How the
7,
fuck they play 13
8,
times
9.
in 9 years?
SE, I don't know. That's a good question. National championship? No. They did
play in the national championship once, right?
Yeah.
The
I'm
rematch
looking
game.
at
Who's doing that data over there? All right. I don't know.
9 and 3 they were since 2000. So, and then Alabama goes and wins 10 out of 11.
But Saban was at LSU, and
there's the common denominator there. So I don't know. LSU though does keep it close. I've been pretty much a consensus top 5 talent wise team that entire stretch.
I think LSU is a lot better than like reading some of these publications that are 6-6. I think even the Vegas odds. I'm like, no. Brian Kelly's a good
He's won wherever he's been.
Dude, they had more players drafted than everybody except Georgia last year. So yes, they had a losing season,
but there was some turmoil going on there.
Coach O was too busy chasing tail.
That's true.
Right? I mean, he won that national championship. He's like, I'm coasting from here out.
I'm done.
He was gassing up and was like, these gas prices are crazy. I better get myself some ass if I'm going to be here. Alabama and LSU, you can't go wrong with that. I did have it as my number 1 game, but I do think you can make a case. You can make a case that another one should be number 1.
Well, as usual, both teams coming off a bye. So what do we think that's going to have SEC championship implications? Certainly for Alabama. What do you think?
I don't think LSU's there yet, but I do think Brian Kelly will have them way ahead of schedule.
Especially at LSU. I think this could be an upset. Definitely.
There we go.
The hard games that they have in the SEC prior to that, at Auburn, who was 6-7 last year.
They were, yeah.
And then at Florida, who was kind of mediocre last year too.
6-7.
And then hosting
everyone was 6-7.
Hosting Ole Miss, who might take a step back, and plus it's at Tiger Stadium. So it is conceivable that LSU is undefeated going into this game.
Wow.
that would be crazy.
I like it. Let's do it. Let's have some of that. All right. Pick 2, your boy Dundee. Look, they normally try to avoid this. Who's what's my guy's name? The commissioner of the ACC again, from Northwestern.
Swafford retired.
Yeah, it's
Tim Phillips.
Phillips.
There you go.
Yeah. Swillips. Swafford and Phillips. They would always try to do Clemson a solid and say, hey, we're not going to put you up in Boston in November. All right, we're not going to put you in Pittsburgh in November. But you know what? The last time they did have to play Notre Dame, it was in November, and they took an L
with the backup quarterback.
Well, with the same quarterback that's going to be playing this game, presumably.
A loss is a loss is a loss.
Freshman
buddy.
starting his first game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and he played better in that game than any game he did last year. But
either way,
point taken.
Either way, Marcus Freeman is. Have you seen what he is doing on the recruiting trail? Maybe they don't need to join the Big Ten. Maybe they are maybe they'll be better than the whole entire Big Ten because he is killing it on the recruiting trail.
It is my opinion that they should stay independent.
Of course, it's your opinion.
That's another topic.
Yeah,
but
of course, that's your opinion. Anyway, Notre Dame beats Clemson in South Bend. You heard it here first.
Bold statement, but as bad as Clemson's offense was last year, maybe reasonable. What do you think, Nick?
They gave Clemson a bye week coming into this, correct? Or am I crazy? I think they got a bye week coming into this because the ACC is like, hey, we're gonna have to make you go up in the cold. All right, I know it. We're gonna give it. Every other team's gonna have to do that, but for you, we're gonna give you a bye week.
They do have a bye going into this game.
How fitting.
Well, it is a great game,
yeah.
And you know what? They've already given the time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So as you might expect, It's prime time, which is even better if you're afraid of the cold, if you're a Notre Dame fan, because obviously in the evening it'll be chillier. But yeah, they split the 2 games in 2020, Notre Dame winning at home, but then Clemson whipped them 34-10 in the ACC title game. But yeah, I think you have to, we don't know what Clemson's going to look like this year. So I think you probably favor Notre Dame at home in South Bend. Great game though.
I just want to quickly pull up. I want to say Clemson's offense charted at I got a bunch of magazines here. We just keep looking, reading stuff, and Clemson's offense, 103rd pass offense in the nation, 100th overall. I can tell you this: if you're anywhere close to that, you're gonna lose in South Bend. All right, you heard it here first. Dundee special. Patty C, what do you make of this game?
Look, I'm looking at it now. Typically 6 days of snowfall in South Bend in the month of November. If we're so lucky to have this be one of them, or even a very chilly day, again, those boys from balmy Clemson, South Carolina may not be ready for it. I do like Notre Dame to win this game.
Boom! There we go. NC Nick getting sad over there. Yeah, wait. Look, Clemson's in the SEC. All right, just let them go.
Yet.
Good riddance.
All right,
look, dude. I even wore a UVA hat today, and by no means am I a Wahoo fan, but I had to represent the ACC somehow because we're not dead yet, and we're going to rally and save this conference somehow. But
well, that's what they need. They need one of these non-Miami, Clemson, or FSU teams to have a championship here, and then just give that conference, the remaining teams, some credibility.
Well, I mean, we just previewed Georgia Tech.
That ain't gonna be the team.
They gave Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech has 3 sets of back-to-back away games on one schedule,
and 5 home
Georgia
games and 6 road games.
Has played 3 back-to-back away games in 10 years. Georgia Tech getting dealt that to see the pyramid scheme that is college football. All right, Patty C, you are on the clock, my friend. So here we go.
Well, laugh you will. No, actually, no, you will not laugh because I am not going with that game. I'm going with the obvious game for what might be really the number 1 game in terms of implications, and probably a lot of vinegar here too. Baylor goes to Oklahoma. I guess this game's going to happen. Right now, they're thinking 3 more times, including this year. But with these buyouts that could happen, this might be the last one for all we know. That's how fast college football works. Baylor having to travel to Stillwater, the defending conference champs against
Norman.
Yeah, sorry, Stillwater.
Jeez.
Sorry, wow.
Jeez. We just
Party
got
foul.
We just got 21-star reviews.
Yeah,
you can mess up Georgia State, Georgia Southern.
Yeah,
all from Norman. All the entire campus just turned on me. Look, defending champs versus prior to that, what, the 6-time defending champs of Oklahoma? Something's gotta give here.
Here's what I find interesting. We saw Texas and Oklahoma. They were announced to go to the SEC last year at this time, and neither represented the Big 12 in the championship game. I do think this gives an edge to the opposing teams in the conference. This movement going on in college football, because you want motivation, it is all fucking there for you.
Oh yeah.
So
and for these teams to have to face that every week.
Yeah, every single week, and you wonder why Texas was 5-7. Well, that's kind of become normal of them. But Oklahoma didn't get to the Big 12 championship. It was Baylor's show. Can Dave Aranda build on that? I think this game you could make a case that by the time we get to this point in the season, this might be the best game to watch.
Well, I played it, so I clearly agree. Although I agree with both of your guys' plays too.
I'm usually a Big 12 hater, but not here. As Joe is saying, Oklahoma's 28-4 all time against Baylor, but Baylor won last year in Waco 27-14, where they limited the Sooners to just 260 yards of total offense. So Lincoln Riley, what's up, man? I hope you can do better in the Big 10 than that. But
and the Pac-12 for a couple years.
yeah, exactly. But eventually, but no, it's a great game. The last 2 Big 12 champs should be a lot of fun, and also another game with upset potential because we're not sure what we're going to get out of Oklahoma this year.
And really, 5 out of the last 6 have been pretty good games. I mean, last year was 27-14. Baylor won. The same score happened the year before, but Oklahoma won. The year before that, Big 12 championship game.
That was so close.
Oklahoma wins 30-23.
That guy from Oklahoma doesn't run him down from behind at the end of the game. Baylor's going to the playoff.
Yeah, and then you have in 19, 34-31. You have one blowout in 18, but even go back to 17, 8-point game in Waco. These games have been pretty. It's actually awesome.
Kind of underrated little series here.
Yeah, let's go, Aranda. Let's go Bears. Let's go. Let's go.
Here's a little nugget about the Big 12 that separates a 9-game conference slate from the others. Baylor coming. This is the second end of a back-to-back. Tough to have to go to Norman on the second end of a back-to-back. Going to Lubbock, then Norman. Ouch.
But they got a back-to-back. Oklahoma's only had one of those in 10 years.
That's true.
Isn't that funny?
And
how that
not,
works.
Not facing one this year. But they are coming off a road trip.
That's just irony.
To Ames.
It's another one of those quinky dinks.
Yeah,
that's right. To quote one Kelly Bundy.
Shout out to Kelly Bundy. All right. NC Nick, it bounces back to you. Pick 4.
Screw it. I'm doing it. Yeah. Last week, Colby said he took a game maybe out of turn because he's going to be there. I'm going to do the same thing. This is the second game, at least the second game I'm going to go to this year. And it is Thursday night, Sun Belt, Fun Belt, baby. It is App State at Coastal Carolina, the lone Thursday night game. Huge Sun Belt East matchup. I can't wait for this game. Conway, the beach, Myrtle Beach is going to be rocking.
The future of college football. The future.
There you go. Exactly.
Why
not?
I might have to. I mean, look, if I don't know that I could pull off College Station to Conway within like 4 days.
Probably not a direct flight.
But I should be at this one. My heart is at this one because this one is fantastic. And look, App State may be 4-1 against Coastal, but the last 2 have been awesome games, and 3 of the 5 have been 1-score games.
Never been one all time. This is a series.
Yeah, the last 2. I'm sorry, no, 2 years ago. I'm sorry, was not a 1-score game, but it basically was. The final score was 34-23. The final play of the game was a pick 6.
Right.
So it was there. App State had a chance to get the win. They didn't. So they're 1-1 in Conway since the FBS. This game is on Thursday night, nationally televised, right? Or is it Wednesday? Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday night.
Thursday. This game is awesome. I honestly, if I had to make a list of games I'm excited to watch this year in college football, this would probably be in my top 10. So I agree with your play. Patty C, talk to me about your love for this game.
I mean, this is your classic culture clash. Mountains of North Carolina versus the beaches of South Carolina. You got the teal turf, right? You got the high octane Coastal Carolina offense versus the ground and pound App State. Look, it's everything you want in a matchup, and these are teams that could likely be battling for conference supremacy here. You have to love the game. It's going to be everything that's fun about college football. This is the kind of game we're going to be dialing into. Once instead of UCLA versus Purdue, we're going to be watching this game.
100%. 100%.
I'm going to say this too. My buddy from JMU just bought Coastal Carolina at JMU tickets on the final weekend of the season. So if you guys want to make that trip, I will probably be there too.
You could talk me into that.
That would be a fun one if you
we
guys
need to move the SGPN headquarters up into the mountains of Carolina or wherever, or Tennessee or something. I don't know. I need to go over there, but shout out to Joe's. Like the amount of mullets that will be on the telecast for that game will be more visible than an 80s rock concert.
I'm gonna start growing mine out.
There we go. We got to get on the mountain mullet versus the beach mullet. They're kind of a different.
Beach mullet wins. Beach mullet, you got to have. It's just such.
Well, there's blonde in the beach mullet.
It's more stylish.
Yeah.
The mountain mullet.
The mountain mullet's great. Like mountain mullet will beat your ass probably.
Tough. Yeah.
But the beach mullet is just fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? You're all on board.
The beach mullet, the beach mullet fucks.
Yeah.
Big time. It's getting
a little Bosworth to it, right?
Yeah. The beach mullet is probably doing coke, and the mountain mullet is on meth.
I think I'll definitely take the beach mullet now that you mention it. Okay, so let's hop into this next. I love that play. I'm very excited for that game.
Nice play.
I cannot wait for that game. And I'll be here at SGPN Studio watching that one. Bring in the popcorn, Patty C. All right, let's go.
Woo.
All right, so it goes to myself, and look, it's time to. Well, what is the top game here at this point? You got. This is a great week. It's an absolutely great week. I'm gonna go to one that I think. Oh man, am I missing? No, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. Let's stay where the heart of college football is. Let's go to the Smurf turf. All right.
Wow.
Where BYU and Boise, this has been fun.
Great game.
This is what I'm talking. This is the future of college football for me, right? This is just, we've been to this exact game and it was awesome. This was an awesome game. And this is a rivalry. What Andy Avalos had a tough first year, but he went into Provo and smacked him. They smacked him in Provo last year. 26-17. There, Boise's 8-4 all time, but let me tell you, this rivalry has been fun. 26-17 last year. Now I will say in 2020, BYU did whoop Boise's ass. 51-17. That's a bad one. But the other scores 28-25, 21-16. I think that was the one we were at, NC Nick. 21-16. Yep. Goal line stand to win that game. 28-27. I mean, this is a fun rivalry. This is a very fun 7-6. There we go. I need one of those back.
What's their record been on the Smurf turf? What have they done in this?
The last time they were in Boise, BYU won, but they did lose the previous 4 or 5 in
Smurf turf.
Matters.
So
is intimidating for a reason.
Smurf turf is tough.
Yeah.
What do you make of this game, Nick?
Oh, it's a great game, man. If you go back to last year again, what BYU was 10-2 in the regular season. Their only home loss was to Boise, and that Boise squad was only 7-5. It was not a stellar Broncos team. So it goes to show you it's a rivalry game. Throw out the records every year.
Haunted house.
And by the way, Big 25 or whatever the fuck the Big 12 is going to turn into, right? You're adding Colorado. Why not add Boise? Because then you get Boise, BYU every year. BYU would have rivals with Colorado, Utah, and Boise State. You add that into the mix.
That makes
Come on.
sense.
Hold
That'd
on,
be
you
very
said
fun.
what now? If
we were talking like there's talk that the Big 12 is gonna snatch up the remaining Pac-12 teams besides Stanford, Cal, and Wazoo and Oregon State. I say they invite Boise State into that mix as well, and then you have
going to go Northwestern,
great conference.
You know what I want though is I just want Wazoo and Oregon State to join the Mountain West and make that an even saltier.
Why doesn't the Big 12 just grab? I don't understand why they say. I get it. They say it adds no value. Bring it in Wazoo and Oregon State, but I would argue it does from a viewing standpoint. Like Boise State, I'm sorry, not Boise State. Oregon State and Wazoo are kind of like Iowa State and Kansas State, and I think that's fun football, great programs. Why not? Why are they excluding them?
You're talking from a fan standpoint, not from like a business standpoint. That's a problem.
Well,
those
things change, buddy.
Programs have had some money coming into them. Corvallis and Pullman have decent stadiums.
Yeah, huge TV markets there.
That's fuck TV
Wet
markets.
blanket Nick over here.
But yet they give like West Lafayette's TV markets. Fucking,
those teams were already in there, so it's
They
different when
got
you're trying to bring somebody in rather than
grandfathered.
Yeah,
bring in Wazoo. Come on, Brian Leaf, Mike Leach. Yeah, this Wazoo program's incredible.
When you're pitching a guy who's notoriously one of the worst burnouts in college football or pro football history as your marketing guy,
Ryan Leaf, Cody Pickett, I think it was. So Wazoo asked to help recruit Cody. I think it was Cody Pickett. I could be wrong. If not, that was the good Washington Husky quarterback in the.
Yeah.
So Leaf goes to pick him up to take him around and pitch him on Wazoo.
Yeah.
He gets in the car wearing a Washington Husky hat. He's driving, not Leach. I'm sorry, Ryan Leaf. And he hops in the car with Leaf, and Leaf he starts driving, and Ryan Leaf sees that Washington Husky hat, so he grabs it from his head and throws it out the fucking window, right? And
that's
great.
rivalry. That's college football.
Yes.
And that's what we're gonna be missing.
Yeah. And
and he ends up going to Washington. He's like, dude, my fucking hat's outside. Fucking cold, man. What are you doing?
Hey, separate the wheat from the chaff. That guy wasn't ready for Pullman.
That's right, though. That is college football. And if we lose the Apple Cup, I'm gonna be fucking heated. All right, I'm gonna be fucking heated. It's not gonna be a fun day at the SGPN studios. All right. I hit Patty C in the face with a fucking apple when he comes into work. Right. All right. Where the hell are we? We're going here. Patty C, it's on you.
Well, Colby really did spread these games all over his list here. So I'm going to go down the list. There's a couple. There are a few that are really good, but I will take you again. We go to College Station, where the Florida Gators, the presumably somewhat resurgent Florida Gators, traveled to Texas A&M. They played in 2020 in a classic.
And who called that one upset there?
Colby did call that.
A lot of people were giving me shit about that one before that. I will always remember that one because people were saying
Colby
I was a fool.
sits there and acts like
Kyle
Texas
Trask.
A&M dominated that game, but Florida.
They both put up like that was a shootout.
That was an absolute shootout.
Yeah.
Did that game keep Florida out of the playoff, or what was Florida's record that year? Let me go back to 2020.
I think it might have.
I think
But that was a weird year. They're just putting anyone in the playoffs. Ohio State played like 4 games. You're like, you're in the playoff.
That's true.
Hey, you
Florida
beat
made the
Indiana.
SEC championship and lost to Bama.
Say that one more time. Your mic
Florida-
kind of broke up.
Yeah, they still played in the SEC championship and lost to Bama, and I think that was the nail in their coffin.
But prior to that, they would have won their first 9 games of the regular season. A&M, at Kyle Field, threw a monkey wrench in that with a late game comeback. Maybe Florida's still salty about that.
It's funny what happens when you play on the road at a tough place. Sorry, it's
You
not.
find a way
It's not Vanderbilt.
And is Florida still salty? They have a new coach, all new players.
Yeah.
Look, the fans
Probably not.
remember. The fans remember, Nick.
The fans
And,
will not be on the field.
What do you make of this game, Nick? Florida at A&M.
It's actually played at the right spot because I think it is a fun game. It could have meaning, in both the East and the West. So I think it's played in the right spot. I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty great. I might stay down there so I can go to another game. Maybe.
Florida's
All right.
schedule is actually freaking brutal. Granted, they have a bye in between this, but coming into this, LSU by Georgia, then at A&M.
Yeah.
That's a tough 3.
Well, we were giving them shit with their away game. I mean, we just did the Florida preview. Contradicting yourself.
I like
That's a
Joe
tough
here.
stretch.
Joe has been dropping tidbits here. Last 3 games have been decided by a combined 8 points.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, it's played in the right spot, man. It is played in the right
Alrighty.
spot.
Thank you, sir.
All right, NC Nick, it is back to you.
All right. Well, I've been saying all up until this past week that USC was must-watch football this season. And then with what had just transpired, obviously with them going to the Big Ten, I think it's even more reason to watch, especially against Pac-12 opponents that they may not be playing much longer. So how about Cal at USC in the Coliseum? And by the way, Cal's done pretty well here. They've won 2 out of the last 3. So no wonder Helton got fired if USC can't beat Cal. And in both games,
no wonder why USC wanted to leave the Pac-12.
Exactly.
I mean, that's hilarious too. Is they only have them in Texas. USC's only got 1 championship since the fucking Pac-12. So it's like, yes, I understand that you're leaving for a bigger conference, but if you think you're going to have this great success there, you weren't having success here. Just like Texas.
I mean, USC's had a little more recent success. Did Helton get 2?
1.
Just 1?
Yeah.
In what, the last decade?
Yeah.
That is surprisingly bad.
And how about this? I know that win total I think is at 10 or 10.5. I was leaning with all these transfers. I was leaning over at 10 if I had to. Now that they've announced this, fuck that. I'm on the under, and I think that might be a lock come August when we do our locks episode on the win totals. I think USC is they play in Corvallis now. Oh my gosh, that's the one great thing from this. It sucks that we might have Oregon State and Washington State in the Mountain West or in the Independence. I don't know, but Corvallis is gonna be fucking insane when they go there now. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that's like all of a sudden must watch TV. Like that game bumps way up the fucking charts now. So
USC again, like we mentioned before, going to be getting everyone's best shot.
Yeah. I mean, they go to Salt Lake City and Corvallis and a couple other spots. Those places should be rocking. Nick, you want to say anything? Patty C, what do you make of Cal USC?
I guess the recent
you talk shit about this game in the office like 2 hours ago. Talk about it.
Recent competitiveness about from no, I mean I would say there are several games that I would have played higher, but the recent competitiveness from Cal with Wilcox makes it a little interesting. Obviously, he's maybe a more promising coach than Helton, but Lincoln Riley coming in, this would be a great upset and a great fuck you out the door to USC. Is this their last year before they go?
They've played 107 times.
I think they play one more year, right? Is it 2024?
24 is the year. Yeah.
Okay. But their last trip to the Coliseum, potentially for a long time, I'm sure they'd love to leave them with an L. Still, I figure USC is so much more talented that this should be a bit of an ass whooping. But if Cal can do it,
think so.
Yeah,
I think
Wilcox is a great defensive coach, so he keeps games close.
Yeah, the one tidbit I was going to say was that those last 2 losses, in the last 3 games, USC's been limited to 14 points in both those losses. So that high-powered Southern Cali offense has not, been running well against Cal. Maybe that continues.
Let's go. All right. I like that play. All right. It goes back to me, and I am taking you to, man, I guess I got to go to Athens, even though I'm not buying the hype. But I think I have to take us there. Tennessee at Georgia. I think Tennessee, I've made this statement all the 10 weeks that we've been doing this preview series. I think Tennessee's in Michigan State mode to me. I need to see it multiple years in a row. All right. They showed some great signs
last year.
I mean, we saw them step it up. Like Josh Heupel had them ahead of what I expected.
Yeah. They improved.
I mean, NC Nick, by the way, I went and re-listened to our locks episode from last year.
Yeah.
NC Nick, one of the ones you got wrong was Tennessee on the under. The under.
I admit it. I was off.
But our numbers were absolutely fantastic, and I will pull those up in a second here. But
well, I mean, who'd they lose to last year? They lost to
Pitt to start things off.
Didn't they have a terrible? No. Oh, Bowling Green. No, they pasted Bowling Green. Okay, I'm thinking of someone else.
Talking about? You're talking about Minnesota?
Maybe I'm thinking of Minnesota. Yeah. Yeah. Tennessee did 7-6 or 7-5 in the regular season. Some signs of improvement.
The problem with this game is that Georgia's won 5 straight in those games. 41-17, 44-21, 43-14, 38-12, 41-0. It has been completely lopsided. I'm sorry, GBO Farms. Better luck this year.
But you had that awesome Hail Mary game where like both teams threw a Hail Mary, it seemed like in the final minute. And by the way, last year, this is why you want to listen to our locks record and subscribe to us on YouTube or whatever platform you listen to podcast at, because we were, as a collective, me, Patty C, and NT Nick, on our locks episode 44-18 as a collective, hitting at 71%.
Woo!
44-18. All right. All right. But yeah, what do you make of this game?
Tennessee, that offense hit 40 points 7 times last year out of 13 games. They moved the ball, got close several other times to 40. Heupel
I gotta play this because
and Hendon Hooker.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The offense should be going, and Tennessee had some great transfer gets. They also at the NIL collective. There's a buzz about it.
Georgia losing all that on defense.
Stetson Bennett, can he keep up with the hooker? I don't think a Stetson's ever had a hooker in the history of this world. You know what I mean? So. Actually, I feel like
Stetson would be the exact guy to have a hooker.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that.
The
more I thought about that, I was like, that's a terrible statement, Colby.
And you know what? I haven't been to Neyland, but I believe you have, Colby. Didn't you go boat gating one time?
I did. That is a great experience. And guess what? It was in the rain, and I'm not one of these little bitches that will say, "Oh, they shouldn't. They should play in a dome." No, the whole game was in a fucking monsoon, and they played Miami. and I got absolutely hammered on that river. What is that? The Tennessee River? I don't even remember. All I know is we were on a
I think it's
fucking
called
pontoon boat.
the Manning River now.
Oh man, don't start there. don't even start. But
is that a fun place to party tailgate?
That
it looks
great.
like it is.
That was
Rocky
great.
Top.
We gotta go there again.
I bet the chicks are
Yeah.
insane. I bet
That was
they got
fantastic.
Yeah.
And they were playing Miami, and I want to say Miami was really good then, or Tennessee was really good. One of the two. This was probably in 2003, maybe, and it was like a 29-3 game or something like that, if memory serves me correct. But it was in the middle of a monsoon, and I was really hammered. It was fantastic. Shout out to all those bunch of people let me on their fucking pontoon boat. It was great.
Let me see.
Just bonging beers, doing Everclear, shit like that. I was 20 years old.
What does Georgia have coming into that game? Georgia has Florida the week before in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Potential letdown spot in Athens, potentially?
Yeah.
This could
No,
be,
it's in Athens, man. Why couldn't this be in Knoxville this year?
I know, right? And why couldn't it be earlier in the season when Tennessee had that offense rolling and Georgia was still figuring out their defense? Tough spot, but I don't know. Tennessee still, if they're improved, this could be a dangerous spot for Georgia.
Let's go Vols. Josh Heupel. I got to give it to him. I honestly thought like that was a questionable hire at the time. I was like, I don't know. Because I thought UCF fell off a tiny bit from Frost to Heupel. And I thought, I don't know. I kind of thought they were botching it again. And no, I mean, I know he was a Mike Leach guy, so I want to root for him. You know what I mean? And I liked him at Oklahoma. I was a big fan of that 2000 Oklahoma team. So
far, so good.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it done. Let's go. Upset in Athens. Didn't Carolina beat them in Athens? I think when they had South Carolina, it was like their third string quarterback a couple years ago.
Yep.
Maybe that can happen.
Fall asleep between the hedges.
There we go. Patty C.
Alrighty. I'm taking a quick scroll up and down this list, but
I know where he's going.
Yeah, of course you do, and my heart would take me here either way. We are going to Charlottesville, Virginia, where the Wahoos.
Whoa.
Is this
Never
what?
mind.
Well, I'm saving that one.
I thought for sure he was going with
a
a rivalry there.
I'm saving that one.
A different ACC matchup, right?
I don't think you guys are going to pick it, but if you do, congratulations. This is me testing, right, where you think this rivalry is. So we'll get to that in a second. But for now, we're talking about the South's oldest rivalry. That is the Tar Heels of North Carolina and the Wahoos of Virginia. Look, this game has potential for coastal implications, potentially the champion of the Coastal Division, a berth in the conference championship game.
Wait, where's this one at? This is in Charlottesville?
In Charlottesville.
Yes.
Mm.
It is the preppy ass student bowl. There'll be lots of like
right.
shirts and ties on.
That's right.
But that's the other reason why I'm wearing the UVA hat, because you know I'm a UNC hater. So go Wahoos here. My guy Brennan Armstrong.
To take a shit on
I'm
that
looking at this
filthy
history.
blue.
Didn't there was like an arena football game the other a couple years ago in this matchup? I feel like it was last year maybe.
Yeah, they were going back and forth.
Fucking disgusting
I was
game.
actually
No
just
one could play
watching-
defense. It was just sitting there like somebody make a fucking tackle. I mean, this game was I was watching the Iowa Barnstormers against the Arizona Rattlers watching this game last year. It was just what was the score of this thing? I'm trying to pull this thing.
59 to 31, 38.
And I want 59-39.
39.
And I want to say at one point it was like 30, I don't know, 39 or some shit. I don't know.
Virginia, I watched this game almost never stop North Carolina the whole game.
That's
I
what
want
I'm
to say they
saying. It
got to
was
stop on a
disgusting.
turnover on the goal line.
This might have been I think I made some good money in fantasy football on this game. And DFS. But man, so I guess I was happy in a way.
Well,
but
Carolina,
I think Hunky Cooper might have had 3 touchdowns in that game.
it was Randy Gatewood. Patty C's wondering what the fuck
I
we're
have
talking
no
about.
idea what the fuck you
we
guys
are
are-
talking Arizona Rattler arena football right now.
See, that's where the dance take it to a different
Yes.
level. I'm gonna say this: without Sam Howell there, and with Brennan Armstrong returning, will UVA have the offensive advantage this year?
No.
Well, let me say
Did
this:
your whole offensive line get rated? I think so.
we lost
in the
the
portal.
Remington Award winner to Michigan. That's a tough one.
I think you lost a few offensive linemen that are starting elsewhere.
And you also hired a guy in Tony Elliott who, you know, what
Yeah.
was that?
Just won a couple
passing
national
ranking last year,
championships.
102nd.
Yeah. Yeah,
102nd
102nd.
passing.
Okay. A couple national championships, couple second place finishes.
If Tony Elliott was racing in North Carolina, I'd feel a lot better. But he's in Charlottesville,
coaching
right?
football, so
That's
that's
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Okay. Play this joke every week. These people are like, this fucking idiot.
Come on with some new material.
Yeah.
I saw that.
There we go. That's what I do it for. All right, NC Nick. That's what I do it for. All
you go.
right. Well, look. Before we get to NC Nick's next pick, I got to get us paid. I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Sleeper. Yes, you already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold hard cash with their brand new over/under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It is free to download. So what are you doing? All right. And also, we just relaunched our merch store where you can get your favorite SGPN gear. And like NC Nick was laughing at on the introduction, you can find a jigsaw puzzle of Ryan Real Money Kramer. Hey, on a rainy day, what's better? Having a bourbon, playing a jigsaw puzzle? I don't know. How do you say that? Doing a jigsaw puzzle?
I think so.
Yeah. All right, so just go to the store at Sports Gambling. Go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com and order yourself a fucking jigsaw puzzle. All right, look. Before we get to NC Nick's next pick, I got to turn it over to Side B. So stay tuned. Hang on for about 5 seconds as we close out for the podcast sake, and then we'll hop right on if you're watching on YouTube. So with that, let's stop this. And we're back on the college football experience, week 10 preview and picks and conference realignment and all this crazy fireworks shit that's going on. I am with Patty C at NC Nick, and it is on NC Nick's pick. He is on pick, I believe, pick 10, and that is happening. If you're just tuning in, go listen to the first 10 picks in our conference realignment talk. We talk about the whole college football landscape, just in utter chaos right now with this USC and UCLA move, and we give our opinions on what's happening with the sport. So go listen to that, and also remember to listen to all of our other 131 previews that we're doing on for every single team in the land that we do every year. Subscribe on YouTube at the College Football Experience if you're watching this right now. So, all right, NC Nick, you were on the clock. I'm doing all this promotion here. People are like, "Shut the fuck up, Colby." Here we go.
All right, so this is the B side. This is where we get loose. And you know what? Let's just stay in the ACC, man. Wake Forest at NC State. Does the winner of this game go to the ACC championship?
This is what I'm hoping, because look, I want Clemson to leave for the SEC at some point. I don't want that, but I think it's going to happen. If that does, wouldn't it be hilarious if they don't play for the ACC championship 2 years in a row, much like USC, much like Texas and Oklahoma? So let's go Wake. Let's go NC State. Is NC State for real, Nick? Because they had a chance last year and they lost this game, and that's what kept them. That's what kept. No, Wake Forest at least got there last year.
Dave Doran has done a great job in Raleigh, but Wake Forest definitely has their number. Wake's won 4 out of the last 5. Regardless of the sport, Wake is always a thorn in the side of NC State. The last 2 games, they split the last 2, and both games were 45-42 exactly.
What's going on? Does anyone play defense? Does anyone play defense in the ACC anymore?
But yes, you're right. NC State, if you're for real, you have to win this game at home. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And look, I want to continue talking about this game, but Dave Clawson against Dave Doran gets me to my next commercial. We're brought to you by Dave. Yes. Look, you're probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about, but I want to level with you. We've all been in a situation at some point in our lives when we're a little tight on cash. Me, when I was probably at the Tennessee River, getting hammered, waiting for that Tennessee Miami game to start. Luckily, the good people of Knoxville stepped up and gave me a bunch of it wasn't Fireball back then; it was probably Jaeger. But anyway, maybe you could afford to put a few gallons of gas in your tank, or you got another, save the date or something that maybe you need a few bucks. All right, and that's where Dave can help. Yes. If you're living paycheck to paycheck like I have for the past 20 fucking years, or struggling to make ends meet, it can really be stressful when unexpected expenses come up. Now Dave can help you get out of that in a pinch. All right. hindsight is 2020, and you can't change the past. But what if you could get a little help from your future self? Maybe you'd ask to borrow a little cash from old Dave, Uncle Dave, coming in clutch here. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. I'm telling you, you got to download the Dave app and come on. I mean, download from the App Store. That's Dave, Dave. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. Member FDIC. I had to hammer that in because it was Clausen against Doran, the Dave Cup.
Expert timing.
Well done. Well done. That's why you make the big bucks.
That's why I use Dave for paycheck to paycheck service. All right. Should I give my Venmo away? Any fans want to give me some Venmo?
Right.
I'm joking.
Go fund me.
Yeah. Here we are talking. I like this matchup, and I think it could dictate who's going to play in the ACC championship. Because I know everyone's got Clemson back in there. Until I see that offense, now maybe getting NASCAR Tony Elliott out of there. Maybe Brandon Streeter dials it up back to the Tommy Bowden days, and they're slinging the rock all over the field. But until I see otherwise, I think this could be maybe the most important game in the ACC Atlantic. Patty C.
I mean, a lot of shade being thrown at Tony Elliott there. We're just assuming that.
Well, was it the 17 that he hung on Syracuse?
They had their struggles, that's for sure.
Or was it the 14 they put on Georgia Tech? I can't remember.
Yeah. Or was it the 45 they put on? Was it the 45 they put on Alabama in the national championship game? Which one was it? I don't know.
Was Emory Smith there? Not Emmitt Smith. If you know your college football history, Emmitt Smith's brother Emory Smith played at Clemson. All right, talk to me.
That's a
talk
pull.
to me. All right, Patrick Sapp was on this fucking team. All right, linebacker Patrick Sapp.
Oh,
let's get into this though.
Wake Forest on the second end of a back-to-back road, going to the Shack, then going to NC State. I feel like they're more likely to take a loss there. Meanwhile, I mean, this is a nice stretch for NC State. A bye week, then 3 straight home games. A road game and then another home game for their last 5 at home.
They'll find a way to fuck it up.
But this is kind of set up kind of well for them. I don't know. That road game against Clemson early in the season will be huge for NC State. I do feel like you're right. They'll find a way to fuck it up. Either way, it should be a competitive game.
Who's the better coach? You're starting a brand new program. Who you taking?
I think Clausen is the hotter name right now.
I think Clausen.
Yeah, I go Clausen too.
Yeah, I like Doran though. He's done a good
Doran's
job.
Doran's good, but he's definitely going to lose week 1 to ECU.
It's harder to win at Clemson or Wake than it is NC State.
Yeah, 100%. All right, I like that play, and I thought that should have been the first ACC game off the charts. But Patty C squeezed in some Wahoo Tar
Some
Heel
home cooking, baby.
nonsense. All right, I'm on the clock here, guys. You guys are just missing marquee matchups left and right.
What do you got for us?
I'm gonna take you to. Wait, I got too many sheets open on here. We're gonna go, guys. You know I represent America. All right.
Oh boy.
And let me tell you.
Oh, I know where.
Let me tell you. They can try to take away this shit. They can try to take away all these great college football rivalries. You know who's gonna stay true through it all, through thick and thin? The goddamn service academies, baby. Air Force, Army, even though it's in a filthy dome, I'm playing it because last year was awesome and it was an overtime game. They should play this on campus. If you're listening, play this in Colorado Springs or West Point because those campuses are awesome. And if you play it in Texas, at least play it out. Play it at the fucking Cotton Bowl or something. Don't play it in this filthy dome. It's disgraceful to the sport. Triple option football, though. This will be an awesome game. Patty C, your thoughts?
You know, you want to talk about there being no loyalty in college football. If these service academies ever stop playing each other, then this country will have lost its soul. But I don't think that's happening. They honor this rivalry, and it is America. And guess what? These are both 2 damn good teams, both 10-win teams last year. This could have maybe even New Year's 6 implications if one of these teams has an undefeated run. So buckle up.
Well, you know, NC Nick hates it because it's the service academies. NC Nick, currently looking at real estate in Russia. How you doing, pal? What do you think of this matchup?
What do you want me to say here? All right. I mean, we just had July 4th. It's July 6th. I can't come down on America that much. Both teams are very good. Air Force might be really good this year, but I had it much further down the list. Obviously, you knew that before you even brought it over to me.
But
okay?
if both teams joined the ACC, one in the Coastal, one in the
Air
Atlantic.
Force?
Yeah, I'm joking here, but I'm saying if they did join, put Air Force in the Coastal, Army in the Atlantic, is there a chance we would see them in the ACC championship?
Well, if you put somebody in the Coastal, that person's going to make it eventually, because I think it's like a round robin. You know, they take turns with a new team.
They just take a ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shame they're really getting rid of divisions. I kind of enjoy the fact that the Coastal, it's a merry-go-round.
Yeah, but it's a fun game, I suppose. But I won't be watching much of it, and you know this.
He just played Wake Forest, NC State.
Yes,
he's coming at Air
I'm
Force
gonna watch
Army.
that game in its entirety.
Be 12.
I
people
live
at the
in
fucking
Raleigh.
game.
Hello.
I live in America, you fucking jackass. How about that? All right.
Look,
LA.
I'm
Borderline. Right?
that's closer to Russia geographically and culturally than probably anywhere in the country. Look, I'm going to agree with Nick. As much as I hate to say it, when a triple option team plays a triple option team, it does not make for entertaining football. It is an absolute until the fourth quarter. Until the fourth quarter, when the game's inevitably 17-14.
I asked Sean and Ryan to buy us flags because I want to hit you in the face with the flag, Orlando Brown style, right now, because that's a terrible take. I like Army Navy's the best game every year.
Well, both
the
these
future
teams
of college
are showing a little respect to this game. Both coming off buys, taking Halloween off.
Let's do it.
So they can do this the right way.
Must watch TV. All right, you don't watch this. Get the
You're
fuck
not
out of
American.
the country. All right.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
What are you gonna tell me next? You don't like Rambo? You know what I mean? What's going on? All right. Anyway, Rambo, important movie. You ever think about Rambo the movie?
I know you do.
I think a lot about it. Just a guy was deprived food. It's a classic story.
Or the book.
I always tell my wife that, come on, please have food ready for me, because look what happened with Rambo. The one cop wouldn't let him go to a fucking Sizzler, and they started making 30 more movies because he started blowing up the whole fucking world, all because he couldn't eat in Portland.
Man, that is spoken like a 1950s husband right
Seriously,
there, if I've ever heard of it.
Please have food ready for me.
I'm joking. I don't really tell her that, but I want it.
Of people.
I pray that happens.
You're a man after my own heart, buddy.
I'm just saying, Rambo would have been a no name if you just let him into fucking Sizzler.
If
you know
his
what I
wife
mean, or
would've
whatever,
just cooked him
Shoney's or
fucking
whatever. Yeah. I'm joking, people. Relax. Okay. Next up on the slate, pick 12 here. Patty C.
Look, it's the game to play, but I kind of don't want to play it. I don't want to play it because I want to see how disrespectful you guys will be to this rivalry, this once great rivalry. So I will not play it.
Liberty, Arkansas is a rivalry?
This motherfucker. Oh, boy. There just isn't another game that's popping out at me, though.
Just take it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going... Speaking of America, we're staying in the American, and this game could have serious conference potential.
No. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Dude, and I'm going a city rivalry here. We're going Houston versus Dallas. We're going Houston at SMU.
Oh, I like it. Future Big 12 matchup or future Big 38 matchup.
Right. SMU, insane that they haven't gotten an invite to a major conference. But this game has huge potential, especially because Houston is projected by a lot of publications as the American champion, which at the very least should get them strong consideration for a New Year's Six berth, if not a playoff berth, and SMU standing right in their way with the game being played in Dallas.
Houston, I know a lot of publications probably forgot that they have to play in Greenville. They're not going to get a dub there. But yes, this is a big time game, and I like this for the future of college football. Let's get in. Let's
exactly.
Fuck watching Texas.
You might have SMU in the ACC and Houston in the Big 12.
That's true. You're still clinging onto this ACC. I'm hoping. I hope you're right. I don't want to see these fucking. They're not even conferences.
This is a fun game though. It's a game that should be played every year. Houston versus Dallas. Come on, that's Texas. That's America. Also, great game.
That's, I mean, between the cities of Texas, those are the two best. And when you consider how big Texas is, that's almost like New York versus Philadelphia or something in terms of magnitude.
I love it, man.
Big game. Big game.
Let's do it. And I think that actually could, if you consider, especially if Cincinnati loses to UCF, door will be open. Dangerous spot for Holgerson, the used car salesman. So, good spot. What do they call him? The Big Earn McCracken of college football?
Pretty much. I mean, he's got that look.
I like it. All right. It bounces back to you, NC Nick. Let's do it.
All right. So I was talking with somebody on Twitter, I forget who, and you know, myself, noted Big Ten West hater, and we brought the fact that, you know what, when there's no more Big Ten West, I won't be able to hate on that division. It's almost like the ACC Coastal.
No. What do you mean? USC and UCLA are the Big Ten West now.
They're not going to have they're not going to have pods or something. They're not going to have two divisions. So get in while you can. And actually, this is a game I'm looking forward to. Iowa at Purdue.
Awesome game.
Yeah, you know what? I think people might be sleeping on the Boilermakers this year. They went 5-1 in their last 6 games with the only loss at Ohio State. They also beat Iowa in Iowa City last year 24-7 with returning quarterback Aiden O'Connell throwing for 375 and a couple touchdowns. If you remember David Bell, who I believe is now with the Browns, he had 11 for 240 and a touchdown. Crushed it. So that's 2 wins in a row for Purdue. And nobody's talking about the Boilermakers. And you might want to watch out.
I agree. And this is a game that definitely makes you.
Well, I don't get break my head cold,
But they're counting down 7-6-5.
Patty C is going to hate on this game. He's going to say, but this game is actually going to be awesome this year. Iowa on the road is a little bit shaky, but
I think that's what makes the game compelling.
Yes.
Purdue won in Iowa last year.
Wow.
That's true. That is
24-7. Did you guys listen to what I was just saying?
David Bell ain't walking through that door, though.
I did.
But Aiden O'Connell's still there.
That is true. Aiden O'Connell is still there, and trust me, Jeff Brom will make a good wide receiver out of somebody. All right, I know that they will be fine when it comes to that. I can't find the Purdue job. I was trying to find the Purdue job. I don't know what's going on here, but no, I really am excited to watch that game, and I think
you guys disgust me. You disgust me with your refusal to play the obvious.
What is the obvious?
Sexy play here.
You're refusing to play it also.
Well, yes. There's a reason for that.
I'm not going to play it until you play it.
Well, Colby, that leaves it in your court.
Because I don't really look forward to watching that every week, or every year. I think it's kind of one of these ones that
Colby wants to see South Alabama versus fucking Jacksonville State
versus James Madison.
Well, yeah. I'll watch that for personal reasons. I don't.
Rich Rod's at Jacksonville State, buddy.
True.
Let's hop into this, man. We're all over the place here. Let's do this. Patty C wants me to play it, but I'm not, because I see more absolute fire on that schedule. And I'm taking you to Tempe because UCLA is part of this movement to make college football worse. And they go take on Emory Jones and Herm Edwards.
Coach Rubino, Devil's Digest.
Devil's Digest, huh?
Yes, sir.
Where you located, my man?
Right here in Tempe.
Okay, Devil's Digest. Okay. I'm Catholic now. I'm a Christian. Watch out them devils.
Watch out for them devils. All right. And look,
he's setting Catholics back 100 years. Come on, Herm.
Look, Arizona State might find themselves in no man's land. This is personal now. Fuck you, UCLA. Let's go, Sun Devils. I want to watch all these matchups. It's better than some of these other games we're playing. Give me UCLA at Arizona State. Chip Kelly can take his visor and shove it up his ass. All right, let's go. Let's go. What do you make of this one, Patty C?
Well, this is evidence that, like, I grew up on the East Coast and I just don't have a great appreciation for West Coast football, because this should be especially considering that both of these teams could be decent. Obviously, Arizona State, a huge question mark, but very talented as usual. UCLA, however, with Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Chip Kelly in another year, should be pretty damn good. And so Arizona State in the desert's a tough place to play. This could be a huge roadblock for a conference championship berth for UCLA. Should be a great game, but I still just I don't know. I don't get excited enough about it.
You're gonna get excited about it this year because it's personal now. It's personal.
Oh yeah,
UCLA basically came and slept with Arizona State's wife.
That's true.
Now,
if Arizona State and the Pac-12 stay together, Arizona State may be the team that wins it every year. Oregon and Arizona State are probably the two most talented teams.
If Arizona State had a wife, she'd be smoking.
Yeah.
She'd be cheating on everybody, right?
Yeah. She'd probably be a whore too.
Silicone and everything. Let's be honest.
What do you think of this matchup, Nick?
I mean, yeah, first off, Big Herm got the best of Chip Kelly last year in Los Angeles, 42-23. Kind of surprisingly. But I kind of agree with Patty. Like on a typical year, this game I don't really care that much about it. But
they're 5-5 in their last 10, by the way.
Yeah, but with this new interest, with this whole shakeup, I think that does add some intrigue. So, yeah, I think it's played at the right spot.
Little spite here.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta take it. Gotta take it here. Let's play ball. Patty C, you can do it now. All right, you can do it.
I am doing it. I'm taking us to the Shack, right? I'm taking us to JMU at Louisville.
Oh yes.
Much as you guys wish it was something else, right? I will not break here. Look, the Dukes have an opportunity here to go into an ACC team's stadium and pull out a W.
I do love this game. I love this game.
Recent competitiveness with ACC squads, whether it be North Carolina, whether it be formerly Maryland, what was it? NC State. They
should have been NC State.
Yeah, had a decent game. Even West Virginia, who's not ACC but somewhere in the same region. Look, JMU has a history of success against
Beat
FBS
Virginia
programs.
Tech at Virginia Tech.
That's right. And Louisville is going to be our victim. And guess what? When the ACC crumbles, JMU is going to say, "Hey, we're pretty competitive. Why don't you bring us in?"
I like it. NC Nick, James Madison, Fun Belt, Sun Belt on the road at the Shack.
What's funny is that the more physical team in this matchup is probably James Madison
by far. No, I don't even think it's probably
right. So yeah, I mean Louisville's got a high-powered offense, but I like the contrast in styles here. I don't know what to expect of JMU this year. I think they're going to be competitive, but they're not going to crush it either. So I think this game's very interesting because I want to see them, play an ACC team as, two FBS opponents. So yeah, I like to play. Looking forward to this one.
Love it. Love it. All right. NC Nick, you are back on the clock.
All right. I'm ACC guy. I'll take it, guys. But it shows you that we've chosen 4 other ACC games, or at least partial. We chose Wake, NC State. We chose UNC, UVA. And then there was like Clemson, Notre Dame, and the Louisville game we just mentioned. Finally, we're getting to Florida State at Miami, which in the 90s was probably the #1 game in the country all year long.
80s and 90s. Yeah.
That shows you how much it's fallen off. And probably in a nutshell, it's probably why the ACC is on the brink of, falling apart as well.
Yeah.
So
they were supposed to be Alabama and Georgia. That's what we expected them to be. And they have not been anywhere near that.
Florida State. I mean, Miami surprisingly is only won I guess that's okay. 4 out of the last 10, but still, I guess that's not that surprising. So it's still a decent rivalry. Last year was a crazy game, 31-28. I think Florida State came back and got a nice dub there.
I don't think I watched it though.
Yeah, because both programs suck, and I don't even know that. Do these games even get? At Florida State maybe, but at Miami, I feel like every time I watch a Miami game at Miami at the Hard Rock, it's worse than the fucking Rose Bowl.
When was the last memorable game between these two? I can't remember a game in like at least 5 or 6 years, if not more.
In 2013, Florida State was 3, Miami was 7, but Miami lost 41-14. Miami gets that prop up.
Yeah.
They just we'll put you at number. You're top 10 this year.
You're 3-0 against FCS competition. You're number 10 now.
Conference USA has like waxed them lately with La Tech and FIU, and somehow Miami will still be preseason top 10. But I go back to 2005 and 2006. Then now you could talk. Okay. Then they were really fucking
definitely
good.
Amazing series before. These are still two swaggy teams, and if they get it together, they're championship caliber teams.
Miami leads the all-time series 35-31, and I do think it's compelling because Mike Norvell could be fired here. That is the interesting angle.
Cristobal going to send him down the road and bring in primetime.
Yeah.
Hello, this is the primetime game.
It is a great rivalry. I think it's played where it should be played this year. For now, college football 2022. I think it fits there. I would rather watch probably all the other games over it. I think maybe you
take
can
out the names and just put the resumes in. Yeah. That's probably where it should be played.
All right, so it goes to your boy Dundee. Friday night. No. Yeah, fuck it. I'll go there. Look. We could have news in the next week or right before the season that Washington's in the Big 10 or the Big 12.
I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe Big 12, but
the Big 12. It could certainly happen.
But Big 10, I don't know about the Big 10 just yet. Yeah, I think that's a stretch to say that.
Okay, but regardless, the Big 12 will not be extending an invite for Oregon State. So you know what that does? Oh, that makes it chippy. Friday night national TV. Jonathan Smith has his Oregon State program flying under the fucking radar. They go up to Seattle. This is a nice spot. I think Kalen DeBauer is a good head coach. I want to watch this game. Oregon State at Washington. Patty C, talk to me about this ball
assuming game. Neither of these teams have been plucked by another conference, every single game is for, dick measuring purposes to get into the new conference. So they want to show out. And Oregon State, the trip to Washington is not going to be easy, but they're going to be ready. They're going to come out on a Friday night and they're going to try and get this W.
And obviously Washington has dominated this series, but the last time they played, Oregon State won 27-24, got it done. And I'll be honest, the year before in 2020, they got hosed on a call. They should have won 21-20. A terrible spot on a 4th and 1 is what helped Washington get the win. But the past two matchups have been fantastic. Give me this, Nick, your thoughts.
Just remember, I've mentioned this stat at least 2 or 3 times on our weekly previews. Oregon State 6-0 at home last year, 1-5 on the road. It would be much more compelling if this was in Corvallis, but still it's Friday night. So sure. Why not?
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Power 5 football on a Friday night. Dial it up, baby.
There we go. Patty C, it goes to you, my friend.
All right. Well, at this point in the season, I think this game has absolutely huge potential because I think this team is going to be the favorite to come out of the New Year's, out of the group of 5 for the New Year's 6th birth. And I think that's the UCF very, very Golden Knights. And they're going to be traveling to Ryan Silverstyle and the Memphis Tigers. Tigers.
I mean, this is at the Liberty Bowl. Look, Memphis trying to get the Big 12 invite. This would be a big statement if Ryan Silverplatter could get this done. NC Nick, what do you make of UCF at Memphis?
Well, that's a question. Is Silver Dollar gonna reroute this ship here? This was a fun game, like back when they were both programs were like towards the top of the conference.
Yeah,
I
really
think
was.
Memphis, I mean, it was every year. I mean, you would look forward to it. There were some great games, so it's a nice little rivalry. I just think UCF is better right now, and I expect a better year from UCF. Obviously, tough, tricky road test, but I think the very Golden Knights are going to pull this out.
Well, I do think I'm going to double check here. Memphis coming off a bye the previous week, and UCF coming off hosting Cincinnati. Letdown spot.
It's a good spot.
Meets well prepared. Memphis could end their playoff hopes with this game.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Memphis can get it together. I worry about this program because can you imagine if they go out? Memphis is not far from Starkville. Dan Mullen is just sitting there coaching high school football. Fire, Silverfish and hire
Grab Mullen.
Yeah,
at Memphis.
or Gary Patterson. There's some great
You
coaches
would
out
have
there.
to figure.
What about Deion Sanders to Memphis?
How about Rich Rodriguez?
Oh, that could be nasty.
Oh,
Deion
in
Sanders
Memphis. Oh, I
in
would like that.
Memphis. Oh man,
I like it. Look, I'm making a prediction here. Memphis pulls the upset on UCF this time.
wow.
There it is.
Would the silver chest keep his job then?
Silver chest. I think that might be enough.
Wow. All right. Well, Patty C playing this one at the Liberty Bowl. Love this matchup. I'm going to make a case that this should be a weekday game. Anyway,
Absolutely.
I want to tell you before we get to NC Nick's next pick, we were brought to you by IP Vanish. Did you know that browsing online using incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? That's right. Without added security, you might as well be giving away all your private data to hackers, advertisers, your ISP, and other prying eyes. That's why here at SGPN Studios, we use IP Vanish VPN to make it truly easy to stay private and secure on the internet. IP Vanish helps you safely browse the internet by encrypting 100% of your data. That means your private details, your emails, your password, your communication, your browsing history, and more will be completely shielded from falling into the wrong hands. Even your physical location will be hidden. IP Vanish makes you virtually invisible online. It's really that simple. So go to ipvanish.com/SGP and use the promo code SGP and claim 70% off your savings. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. IP Vanish. All righty, NC Nick. Goes to you, buddy.
I really want to go with a weekday game, but I can't take it out of turn. We'll stick in the Big 12. Big 12 hater. Texas at Kansas State. This one is surprising when I did a little research because it's only 12-10 in Texas's favor, and they've won 5 in a row. So at one point, Kansas State was beating Texas more often than not. And even though they've won 5 in a row, Texas has 4 out of those 5 games have been 1-score games. This is in Manhattan. It's got big time upset potential. Why not Wildcats?
Oh, and K-State riding some momentum on the recruiting trail. I also love the Adrian Martinez, Deuce Vaughn bet.
Would this be considered an upset?
Oh, I can't wait. This is one we need to go to. This is the heart of college football. Manhattan college football. Manhattan, the real Manhattan, not fucking New York City for the Heisman Trophy nonsense. This is the real Manhattan when it comes to college football.
What has the score been in this game? I mean, has it been relatively close? I feel like K-State
22. Yeah.
4 out of the last 5 games have been 1 score.
Yeah. Only once did they get their ass whooped.
Texas has had the advantage recently.
But Bill Snyder actually kind of owned them. Bill Snyder had some great success against them. Certainly, I mean, look, in 98, K-State won 48-7, 35-17, 41-21. They got another one, 39-14.
At one point, this series was 10-7 in Kansas State's favor.
Yeah,
which is shocking.
Well, what's great about this opportunity is K-State gets this win, 12-11. Then they have next year. Could we? They go out of the Big 12, 12-12. And I mean, some of these games also happened in the in 1913 and 1926 before they were in the same conference.
Right.
So, anyway,
well, I'm looking at this right now. If my math is correct, Texas 2-7 all time in Manhattan. So another trip to a Hornet's Nest. Count it as a loss for Texas. Lovely for us.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers coming there. He's gonna be crying when he comes out of there, right? Be crying when he comes out of there. All right, let's go. Next up is your boy Dundee, and I gotta take us. Look, this was a wild one a season ago. This was a real wild one, and that is. Let me see if I can find it. Make sure I'm accurate on this game occurring here.
39-38. If I'm talking about the same game.
No, I am trying to talk about. I'm trying to find where Mississippi State is on this thing.
Never mind. Okay.
Where
that was 43-34.
Yeah, but they were down like 20 points. I want to say
it's also the game where Will Rogers went 44 for 55 for 415 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, so I'm going Auburn at Mississippi State.
Nice play.
This game is great, and like I said last year, I think Auburn had a big lead, and Mike Leach and Will Rogers, State Park, came back and just in the second half just blew them the fuck out. Auburn at Mississippi State. Stark Vegas will be rocking. Where's my cowbell? Do I have it? I don't have it in here, but this is awesome. What do you make of this game, Patty C?
Well, I do think I don't know if this would be considered an upset. I know. What was Mississippi State's record last year?
I think 7-5. If
7-5.
So.
Auburn 6-7. So not really an upset from a record standpoint. Although Auburn really close against some good teams last year. I just think Leach, this is going to be a little step forward for him, and I think they're going to get it done in Starkville.
And Auburn kind of owns this all-time series, but Mississippi State Auburn's 3-2 in the last 5. So
things are changing in
good.
Starkville. Starting with
go.
Mullen and
It's
going
in
to Leach.
Starkville, and Mississippi State has a bye coming into it. I think this is the home team wins here, definitely.
And this will be fantastic. In Starkville, come on, the fans will be rocking. This is college football, folks. This is college football.
I should go get that cowbell.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy. It's
Yeah,
okay. We'll
we're
get
good.
it next week. All right, Patty C.
Couple options here. I like what I'm seeing. Ooh. Let's go with. We're going off the beaten path a little bit. We're going UTSA
Oh, I like it.
at UAB.
I like it.
This
Bill
game last year.
Clark.
I didn't see this one. You guys keep
Yes.
talking about it. You keep questioning Bill Clark's coaching decisions. What exactly happened? Describe this one to me.
We need Welcome to UAB here on this one. Shout out to Welcome to UAB. But Nick, yeah,
It was they had like a 4th and inches at like, I think it was like UTSA's like 45-yard line or 40-yard line or something. They were up 4, maybe, if my memory serves me correctly. They decided to punt with like a minute left, and UTSA goes the distance, a long drive, and they score a touchdown in the last seconds and win the game. But
yeah, it was 31-27. And the final score was 34-31. So UTSA, I do remember that.
what yard line was that? It was UAB
I want to say
like,
it was like I think it was at like the 40.
something like that. It's like
because they could have kicked a field goal. And you were like
inches, 4th
Yeah.
and inches. It's like,
yeah.
run it, pick up the first down, ball game.
If memory serves me correct, like the fucking ref had like an index card that he put there to show that it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's like you needed like just this much.
Did that cost UAB a berth in the conference championship game? It did.
Yes.
34-31 final.
And
Brutal.
I think I had a UAB money line ticket that week.
Brutal.
And they've met 6 times, and the last 2 have been 1-score games, and 3 of the 6 have been 1-score games. So,
Will the CUSA title berth again be on the line here? November.
And both these teams are coming to the AAC, so this rivalry will continue on. We think until the AAC falls apart. Next week.
Next week.
All right.
But fun in the meantime.
Yes.
Fun for this year.
Fun to think about. All right. I love this matchup. Nick, you like it?
I do. Yeah. I'm shocked that TMZ Patty C is picking all these mid majors this week.
Well, you
I
guys
guess we must be rubbing off.
Meep.
You guys are rubbing off. I didn't give UAB enough appreciation, but I started to finally come around. Even though Bill Clark just left, they're still probably a pretty damn good team.
Yeah. There we go.
How bad of a back injury do you have to have where you can't coach? It's I like if you got a fucked up back, it sucks.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like a back. That's why. I mean, you can't,
Cortisone shots, buddy. Come on,
Dude, Hugh Freeze was coaching from like a fucking hospital bed. You know what I mean? Remember that? They had him like in a hospital bed. He had his offensive play sheet. He's calling plays in a hospital bed.
Joe Paterno
Clark is
shit
only
his pants.
50.
Joe Paterno wasn't even alive on the sidelines. All right.
Clark is only 54. Right? He stayed with UAB when they didn't even have a football program and brought him back. And then back. It's kind of disappointing, but hey,
Must be a bad back injury.
I mean, we saw Deion Sanders. He had like a fucking golf cart.
He got his toe chopped off.
What about that basketball coach who like Was it for Georgia State? What's his name? He's at Tulane now.
Yeah. Ron Hunter.
Yeah, Ron Hunter.
Yeah.
What was his deal?
He had like a broken leg, and he's sitting there in a March Madness coaching from like an office chair. It's fantastic. It's fantastic for the sport. I love you, Bill
just
Clark.
had enough.
Hey man, he stayed through the tough when they didn't even have a football program.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bill Clark.
You know what it was? We released our Conference USA coaching rankings. He saw that we gave him the acknowledgement of being the top coach.
Yeah, and that
in
was
the Conference
enough?
USA. He
That
said,
was
"Boom."
enough.
They
Nothing more to
recognize.
prove. Nothing more to
That's
prove.
All right, NC Nick, it's coming back to you.
All right, this is a game I thought you were going to go to, Colby, because it was a crazy game last year. It was a 39-38 matchup. It's about time we got Tuesday and Wednesday night Maction. Here we are, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Central Michigan at Northern Illinois.
This game was even crazier than the UTSA UAB game we just talked about. Do you remember this ending?
Refresh my memory.
First off, Central Michigan winning the whole game. The whole game. Northern Illinois comes back in the fourth. I think they score 2 touchdowns late. They get the lead. Central Michigan doesn't panic. They go all the way down the field like nothing. And they're going to kick the game-winning field goal, and the holder pulls a Tony Romo. He couldn't get it down. He couldn't get grasp of the ball, so the kicker couldn't get it. And Northern Illinois, the luckiest team in the history of college football last year. And by the way, shout out to all the people that let me know Rocky Lombardi was back. That was my mistake. And also, I feel like it's tough with these super senior stuff and all this COVID stuff. But yes, Rocky Lombardi is the quarterback of Northern Illinois. So Nick, you can have the floor now.
No, just one other quick thing. I mean, you got Northern Illinois is the MAC champion last year. Central Michigan might be the favorite this year. You had a crazy game a season ago. You got Rocky Lombardi versus Daniel Richardson, and perhaps the best unheard of running back in the country in Lou Nichols at Central Michigan. So this is a really fun MAC battle here.
This is an awesome game, and I love it. To me, if you had to tell me like, Colby, pick a MAC game to put, what stadium would I choose? And of any of them, it would be at Northern Illinois because their fans are awesome. That stadium's awesome. The fact it's outdoors is awesome. Sign me up for watching this game. Central at Michigan at Northern Illinois, Patty C.
Let me tell you what. I like that it's a Wednesday game, but I'm gonna make this official right now. I am a fan of rotund coaches, and Thomas Hammock is the black Mark Mangino. Okay. I enjoy it. He's bringing positive energy from the sideline. You have to love him. I'm all about it. Go Northern Illinois once again.
That program is fantastic. 39-38. That was a game. And by the way, this all-time series, Northern Illinois 12, Central Michigan 10. This is chippy. This is fun. So let's sign up for this one. I agree with your play. It makes a lot of sense. And I can't wait for Maction. Hey, if you're listening to this, Mac President, which I know you are, God damn it, play more weekday games earlier in the season too.
Why wait till November?
We want to watch all these matchups. You sprinkle it on Saturday on like ESPN 35 plus, right? No one's gonna get to it. Put them on Tuesdays and Wednesdays the whole fucking year. I get it. You say, our attendance could be altered. Whatever. I think it'll be fine. If you build it, they will come.
There's a reason why everyone knows what Maction is. It's because of this.
Yes, and it's great. It was just
genius marketing.
Just keep it up. All right. All right. Dude, this week's fantastic because I see a ton of stuff out there still that I like. All right, and I gotta take us to the big. No, geez, that's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Big Ten West. Give me Minnesota at Nebraska. Rowing the boat against the greatest 3-9 team of all time, Scott Frost and Nebraska. This game. You really could have the fate of the Big Ten West going on here. What do you make of this play, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Why not? It's a fun game. I actually clicked on something else.
This guy's playing blackjack over here, and he's like, "Yeah, look, it's a great game."
I might be a Big Ten West hater, but I'm kind of a Minnesota fan. We established this last week, right? So out of all the Big Ten teams, I kind of like Minnesota, and for some reason, Purdue's on my good list this year. Is Frost going to be there? It's a big question mark. So this late in the year, it's a very compelling game.
Patty C, Minnesota, Nebraska.
I don't know what it is about the Vikings and the Golden Gophers. Maybe it's the fact that they're very golden, but there's a part of me that's prone to dislike the Vikings, but there's part of me that's prone to like the Golden Gophers. And I think Minnesota, they never did anything wrong to me. I got to be fair to them. And so I'm rooting for the Golden Gophers. That said, I like Scott Frost.
These teams first played in the year 1900. Wow, all right. Nice. They've played 62 times already. This will be the 63rd meeting. Nebraska does lead Minnesota leads the all-time series 35-25, and Nebraska does have the largest margins of victory. Back in 1983, Nebraska won 84-13.
Still salty about that one. Let me tell you what.
Go ahead.
Having driven through Minnesota, they got a lot of corn there too. I think they are probably a little jealous of the Cornhusker moniker that Nebraska has. What were you going to say, Nick?
I was going to say, Golden Gophers, it doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No other sport, no one has a gopher in their nickname other than University of Minnesota. So they own the shit out of that, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We got a gopher.
And by the way, Minnesota's won 4 of 5. Ooh. 4 of 5. The last 2 one-score games. Sign me up for a little Big Ten West fun, folks.
Who you got winning it in Lincoln? Who you got?
Cornhuskers get the dub.
Wow.
Minnesota pulls it out.
Wow.
This should be fun. It should be a lot of fun. All right, Patty C, it bounces back to you.
Okay. There's a game I want to play, but I'm going to save it for a little later. Okay. If I'm being serious here, I guess I got to take us to a kind of shitty game. I think we're getting to that point.
No, this week has none.
There's
30 good games. There's more than 30. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with you. I think we're starting to get to the point where this is a game you guys might hate on. I'm taking us to the farm. Washington State travels to Stanford. What do you guys think?
I've been to this game, but it was in Pullman. Well, the farm is boring, but look, right now, Washington State, Jake Dickert's got the tough responsibility. Like I said, Stanford is going to be according to our sources, they're going to the Big Ten soon. This is an opportunity to say fuck you, and I would love to see it. So I like this matchup. Nick?
Not really. I can't get on board with this. I like Washington State when they're playing a big boy, when you can root for them, when it's in Pullman. This game is going to be on late night. It's that time in the weekly show that I complain about how late those games are at, and I won't be watching.
But Stanford's going to be a big boy if they're invited to the Big Ten, buddy.
Okay, this is why I agree. I agree with all the points Nick just made. It's kind of like not the most entertaining matchup, but I do expect both teams to be Power 5 teams with bowl potential eligibility.
Power 5 teams for the next 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Decent competition, decent level of play. Maybe not super entertaining though.
Well, I can tell you, I like this matchup, but I did think you missed a couple.
What do you got?
Missed a couple there. Well, it's Nick's play, turn. But Washington State at Stanford, I like it, and yeah, I'm okay. You know what? Sometimes you got to say fuck you to Nick. All right, so Nick, you're up next.
At first glance, I don't blame people for looking over this game because the visiting team has won 12 in a row in this series. And they won last year 55-3. Ooh. I'm talking about Oklahoma State at Kansas.
Yes.
You like rotund coaches. Well, the last time Kansas beat Oklahoma State, Mark Mangino was head coach in 2007. But look, man, things can be different this year because we know Kansas is improving.
Trap game.
Light pulled slightly thinner, but just as effective.
Trap game.
It's in Lawrence, so there's that. Not the toughest place to play in the world, but at least it's not in Stillwater, and it's gonna be a whole lot closer than last year. Let's just say that.
This would be a major step forward for Kansas.
Kansas almost should have beat Oklahoma if it wasn't for that freak play, and did beat Texas. They add Oklahoma State to the list.
I expect this to be a ball game.
It is going to be a ball game. I can't wait for it.
What if Lawrence becomes a hornet's nest?
It's going to be. This is where the heart of
tide
college
is
football
turning.
is.
You are
all right?
correct, Joe.
You can have your Big Ten and SEC. Give me this is where my
Big 12 Colby is
Big 12 Colby,
in
man.
effect once again.
Big 38 Colby.
There you go.
Big 38 Colby coming through.
Play that George W. clip because the tide is turning.
It certainly is. Let me fire this.
It's easy to see a
There
tide
it is.
turn.
Actually, here I'll give you this one.
I think tide turning. As I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of turn. It's easy to see a
I'm
tide
pretty sure
turn.
Nick just preserved a
I say those words?
355 episode streak of that clip being played.
Yes. No, I love this matchup, but I am disappointed in you all. All right.
What do you got for us?
How do you leaving this game out on the board right now? This is two passionate fan bases. West Virginia travels to Ames. Ames. This is better than the past two games we played here.
Is it?
Yes.
I feel like
fun.
West Virginia takes L's on the road in these
Yeah,
games.
right.
If this game was being played in Morgantown,
Well,
it'd
Iowa
be
State's
higher.
still going to be a fucking. This is going to be a hornet's nest. So give me West Virginia at Iowa State. Look, Ames is where the heart of college football is too. All right, we're saying this for every fucking team that's in the Big 12. All right, and look, you got two. It's a huge opportunity for Neil Brown to not get fired, and Matt Campbell continues to defy the odds with winning seasons after winning seasons in Ames like no one else has done before. So sign me up for this one. Last year was 38-31. West Virginia won in Morgantown. Iowa State 4-6 all time. Campbell's trying to get that closer. He's going to even that thing out in the next couple of years, I think. So sign me up for this one. Nick?
Well, the only time under Matt Campbell that the Cyclones lost in Ames was his first year where they lost to West Virginia 49-19. I don't see that happening again. It's a decent matchup. At this point, sure, why not? I had it right there with Oklahoma State, Kansas. But for me, Oklahoma State, Kansas is just more appealing because I think you have a chance of like a big upset. With this game, I mean, yeah, WVU could win, but I don't know. I favor Iowa State. It'll be close probably, but it's just kind of a ho-hum game.
Oh, you used ho-hum on us.
Iowa State coming off a home visit from Oklahoma, maybe a letdown spot for West Virginia to catch them.
I love this. I like both these fan bases. That's why.
Oh yeah,
That's why, you know.
Passion,
Yeah.
for sure.
Patty C, it goes to you.
Look, I'm going to make a personal play here. You guys are going to laugh. I don't care. You got two kind of proven coaches. You have a border battle and you have a Friday night. Right?
There's the border episode 500 where in a row border battle has been mentioned.
Dropped.
When we get really famous, we're gonna have a restaurant called Border
Battles. That's right.
I can't believe you're playing this game.
Which game?
Look,
What did you say?
I said UMass traveling to UConn.
I was gonna play it. You son of a bitch. That was my last play because it's on Friday night. It's on Friday night.
Look,
Both
Mark
these coaches.
Whipple, a freaking
No, Don Brown now.
is it Don Brown? Yeah, Don Brown. Why did I think Mark
Yeah.
Whipple? Don Brown. I knew it was one of those.
Don Brown
old,
against Jim Moore
former
Jr.
coaches. Yeah, Jim Moore Jr. That's right. Well, that just makes it a much more defensive battle, especially if you throw some snow in this equation. Oh, but
Is it at UConn too?
the game is
Yeah, I think UConn's fans will shell out a little bit better than UMass. This is national TV.
You're
cannot
forgetting
wait.
the other game at 7:00 Friday night.
I still think this needed to be played. This needed.
Not above it.
That's true, but still.
Nick, the other game on Friday night you're referring to is routinely referred to by us as the least watchable game in all of college football.
Well,
so anyway, I know you're going to play it, but
question for Colby, the captain here. Can I play a what the fuck game that's also on our top 30 game?
yes. Let's do it. Look.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
This game sucks. The only thing it has going for it is that it's on Friday with only one other game at the same time.
No, that's
Other
what they
than
should
that,
do every year. Every year.
Yeah, because nobody else, it's like Maction. Nobody else is going to watch. I mean,
It's got-
UMass UConn is awful. It has even in basketball, it hasn't been good since Calipari against
Well, Frank Martin's back at UMass in basketball. Hurley Martin matchup. Sign me up. And same with Don Brown, Jim Mora Jr. You know we're friends with Jim Mora Jr. here on the show. And listen to this, buddy. This is the future of college football.
I agree.
They're taking our shit away from us. Look, they're taking it. They can't take it away in New Haven, baby. All right.
The Northeast will never be the future of college football.
The SEC might want to take away, a lot, and the Big Ten might want to take away all these great rivalries, right? They're not getting this one. They're not getting this one, baby.
Let me tell you something. All right.
Can we get a nickname for this game?
Yes, we need to get it.
The fucking clam chowder bowl. Look, I want to say this. These are two very populated states, right? With NIL coming up, these people can shell out some money. These are programs that could potentially be on the rise. And guess what? With the college football playoff expanding, it's not going to be so Southern oriented, and these teams have a chance.
I mean,
they can only be on the rise because they can't go any further down. Okay.
Hey, you bite your tongue.
Let me tell you
this is a 38-35 all-time series. 38-35-2, right? They first played in 1897. Sign me up for bringing this back to the forefront. UMass leads this series.
When UMass played in a 16-team college football playoff at the FCS level, how'd they do?
Marcel Ship days, baby.
How'd they do? Oh, they won the whole damn thing.
Okay. Look, this is a great rivalry. This is a great rivalry.
How the New England Patriots been doing over the last 2 decades? I guess playing in the snow is helpful, when you're from Massachusetts. These teams are coming up, Nick. Accept it.
He's a hater. All right.
Matty C loves Northeast football. I don't know why.
I do.
Syracuse, Boston College, UMass, UConn. His favorite FCS team is Albany. I don't know.
Well, the irony is you're about to play a game right next door in your next play.
And I'll raise your hand one higher. All right. You wanted to go to the JMU game? I say we go to this one. I say we fucking go to this one.
No.
Y'all have fun with that.
Let's do it. Come on. You were just up there in Maine. You took photos at the Black Bears stadium.
The night before, I'm going to be at the beach with my mullet doing coke. All right. I'm not going to make it up there.
If you start doing coke, you could end up in New York City hanging out with some rich people. Long Island, just a quick little train ride over to New Haven. Let's do this.
Believe the preferred term is nose beers.
Yes, nose beers.
Sorry, and it's stores too, by the way.
Well, whatever. All right, it's all there.
Have you?
All right, don't worry about it.
Let's keep it moving. Another Friday night game, Nick. I assume this is your final play here.
Actually, no. I'm gonna go to another game that Colby and I have been to. It seems like we catch a lot of bad weather in our games.
I like bad weather. That's a good thing.
True. But Oregon at Colorado. Yeah, we got hammered in Boulder, and we saw this game, and we were hoping the Buffs would pull an upset. Didn't happen when we were there in person. Could it happen this year potentially?
Huge block punt in this game. Maybe. Hey, I like it. Oregon at Colorado. This is if the Pac-10 can hold on to it, this could. I mean, believe it or not, folks, you want to sit there and say, that the only team in the Pac-10 after UCLA and USC depart that has a national championship is the Colorado Buffaloes.
There it is.
Let's
They're
go.
The most recent
shared national championship.
Whatever. Look,
was Washington shared too?
Yeah, it was.
So separated by 1 year.
Anyway, then you also have this though. You also have this. If Colorado goes to the Big 12 with Oregon, well, Colorado's got a pretty rich history of going to the Big 12 championship in the Big 12. So let's do this damn thing. Buffs gonna upset.
Wait, was it Oregon that took Colorado's spot in the Pac-12 championship a couple years back?
Yes.
In the COVID year?
Yeah.
Ooh, rivalry.
That's bullshit. They sprinkle that bullshit, man. You got to watch it. They sprinkle that bullshit.
The Owlers, decent game. State flagship schools. Gotta like it. Tap the Rockies.
There we go. Tap the fucking Rockies. I like it. And okay, so Patty C took my play. I was gonna play that. I was gonna play the UConn game there.
Boom. Stole your thunder. So now you got to scramble.
That was a great Friday night's play. So he's counting on me to play this ACC game. I don't know that I can do that. And with that, I am going to take us to, you know what? No, I can't do it. I was gonna.
What do you got for us?
I'm trying to convince myself of one of these weekday games. I'm not gonna do it. Instead,
Navy.
I could do that, and I also I will say the one in Champaign caught my eye. Caught my eye.
No, he's shit on me for taking Illinois 100 times,
but I'm not doing it.
Okay,
I'm taking us to Fayetteville because I see an opportunity for a former scumbag head coach who deserves to be back coaching in the SEC because the shoe fits perfectly. Well, I'll be honest, it fits at Liberty too. Hugh Freeze traveling to Pulled Pork Pittman. This is a great coaching matchup. Give me Liberty at Arkansas. Don't sleep on this game, Razorbacks. Don't sleep on it.
It's
I'm
a good game
you.
because it actually has upset potential.
Does it?
And
is this a future SEC matchup? Because if Falwell, if Liberty starts opening the pocketbook with NIL, come on, let's go.
We shall see.
Will Hugh Freeze pull a Bobby Petrino and be in a perhaps a cycling accident of some sort with someone on the back seat?
I'll say Liberty is interesting this year post Malik Willis because I want to see what they're all about. Obviously, they're building a pretty good program.
Hey, they were good before Malik Willis when they had our boy Buckshot Calvert, who definitely sounds like the name of an Arkansas player. He should have went to Arkansas.
We'll see.
Let me tell you this: Liberty coming off a bye, Arkansas coming off a road trip to Auburn.
Oh yeah,
Liberty gonna be rested up, and they're gonna circle this game on the calendar. Best believe Hugh Freeze is making his noise to get back in the SEC.
This is fun. Coach from the hospital bed if you have to. All right, let's do this damn thing. Right. Patty C, pick 30.
Pick 30.
Pick 30. Let me give you this music.
There are a couple interesting games, but I'm going to take us to Nippert Stadium. Cincinnati hosting Navy. A very chippy Navy team. Should Cincinnati survive their road trip to UCF the week before, dangerous spot playing the triple option.
Navy almost got him last year.
Yeah,
almost. Navy leads the all-time series.
Pretty crazy.
Leads the all-time series. Watch out.
However, Cincinnati on a very long home winning streak, so this would take some doing. Something's got to give.
27-20 last year.
Yeah, closer than you would think. Cincinnati could be undefeated at this point in the season if things break right for them. Navy could be the thorn in the side. I hope not, but look out.
Nick, I know you're mad your Friday night game wasn't played.
Oh, it'll get played.
It's a travesty. It's a travesty, but this game's actually pretty good. I agree. Granted, it would be much better on a weekday also, because how much burn is this game really going to get on your TV? With such a great weekend of games.
I mean,
this should be Friday
That's
night.
the problem with this week, though. When you consider, like I said, Michigan State at Illinois wasn't played. How about this? Ohio State at Northwestern. That was the Big Ten championship 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's not played. Penn State at Indiana.
Right. Michigan Rutgers.
Syracuse at Pitt. Northeast battle. Kentucky at Missouri. That's intriguing a little bit. I mean, even some of those like Colorado State, San Jose State, Troy at Louisiana, maybe Sun Belt, Fun Belt,
Marshall ODU,
Georgia State, Southern ODU. Miss, Texas Tech, TCU, the Dykes Bowl. You
need to coin that one. The old Dykes Bowl.
Maryland at Wisconsin. Come on. I mean, these are some Arizona at Utah. This could be a future Big 12 matchup.
And we didn't mention the Tuesday night MAC games, including one that had two bowl teams from a year ago.
I almost played that. I was almost my last play. Ball State,
Kent State.
And Kent State.
Right.
I almost played Rice hosting UTEP too. I thought about it because that's a Thursday game. So. I was excited to see that. Was excited to see the weekday schedule. And there's other MAC games too. Western Michigan at Bowling Green, Buffalo at Ohio this week, and obviously Duke at Boston College, the barn burner on Friday night.
Tune in.
I'm looking at this. The fact that Sonny Dykes coached at Cal, that the Dykes Bowl has to involve Cal. Let's be honest.
No, but his dad was a legendary baseball coach at Texas Tech.
Oh, okay. So there's the relationship. There.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Dykes Bowl. All right. Well, now we get to our moment. The Lou Holtz what the fuck game of the week, where these games make no sense of why they're there, and they're just the last game you would want to watch on TV.
Well, I don't got the brain man cold,
But they're counting down 7-6-5.
NC Nick, the Lou Holtz what the fuck game of the week is what for you?
Well, a testament to this week, kind of hard to pick one, and I had UConn UMass on my list as a potential one, but I'm not going to pick that because it is Friday night and there's only 2 games on at that time slot, so you can watch both. So I'm going to take you to, it has to be the boringest game of the week. South Florida at Temple. It's not on campus.
That is good. That is good.
2 bad teams. It's shitty Northeastern football like Patty C likes. Yeah, that's my game.
That is a good. I agree. I mean, Temple. Can they please move their stadium on campus so fans will actually show up?
That's the other part about that is that it's going to be played at the link with like 12 people.
Yeah.
Neither of these teams can fill out a stadium for sure.
If they just played, I mean, South Florida's at least building it.
Yeah.
South Florida though.
South Florida is going to be on campus, right?
Yeah, it's going to be on campus. Temple needs to get that going. Come on, where's that Todd Bowles money?
That might be the difference between UCF and USF and the last evolution that's happened over the last.
That's what they were saying, man.
Yeah,
And
look, coaches too. Like you got to hire the right guy.
True.
Hey, well, they had it. South Florida had our boy Jim Leavitt. They had great years with them.
Yeah.
Temple leads this all-time series 5-3. 5-3. And the last matchup was 34-14. But before that, you had 10 points or less, games there. So
could actually be competitive.
It's still a snooze fest.
Yeah.
I think it's played correctly here.
Still not watching it.
So USF at Temple. Then it jumps over to me for my Lou Holtz.
Well,
What the fuck game of the week?
But they're counting down 7-6-5.
Oh man, that's a good fucking play, Nick. That was a very good play. I will take us to, I'm taking us to, unfortunately, I got to shit on the Sunbelt a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Simmer
Georgia
down.
Southern got rid of the triple option and I'm mad. I'm very mad. And I don't want to watch Clay Helton get another opportunity. If you can't win at USC with all these players, I have no interest in watching South Alabama at Georgia Southern down there in Statesboro. But yeah, that's my play. South Alabama at Georgia Southern. Shitty game of the week.
I mean, you don't think there's some residual hatred for South Alabama, Georgia Southern between the Tide and the Bulldogs fans? You
Maybe
think there isn't just like straight up cross state hatred here.
I hope South Alabama drops 40 on them. All right.
Watching this game will give you the Statesboro Blues. Shout out to the Allman Brothers.
Oh,
Nice.
there we go.
Nice ball.
There we go.
Have your car towed all the way to your house, and all you got for me is light beer?
Patty C, it is now on you. And
Well, I don't got the brain
I'm
man
gonna go ahead and
They're
play
counting
it.
down 7-6-5.
they really saved us by putting it on weekdays, like UConn UMass probably on a Saturday, and same with Duke Boston College.
Well, that's gonna be.
Is that your play?
That's my play.
Get out of here. So
Duke
you
had
chose UMass UConn as your top 30, and you're choosing this as your what the fuck game?
At least
You're
UConn
crazy.
UMass, you probably don't know who's gonna win. This one I feel
Boston
like
College
BC.
could be like an 8-win team this year. Duke is interested with a new head coach. Duke was in the ACC championship within the last decade, and you're
let me
choosing.
tell
But
you
there's
guys,
more
UConn
stability.
instead.
There's more stability at UMass UConn being independent than what's going on in Duke and Boston
Boston
College.
College.
Wild.
When there's a big team coming to town, they get lit. When there's a mediocre or uninteresting team coming to town, it is one of the most boring stadiums in all of college football. Sorry, Chestnut Hill. It's a fucking fact. And Duke is one of the most boring teams in college football. And look, as much as Carolina and Massachusetts have a beef with each other, this one just ain't doing it for me.
Well,
Sorry. This game sucks.
This is one of those
I know
bullshit.
this is personal.
Yeah.
I know this is personal here, but like Gandhi said, nobody can hurt me without my permission. So you're not allowed, Patty C.
This is one of these ones that I think we can queue up that West Virginia guy's email. They made this in the ACC, and it's like, come on, man. These teams have nothing in common rivalry wise.
This isn't a rivalry. They don't play every year.
No, but I mean, they're still in the same conference. This is my point. Is like, are fans supposed to be excited when Duke comes to town? I think they'd be much more excited if they were playing the likes of some of those other Northeast teams, even Temple. I think they'd be more excited for. So there we go. There, I think it's well played, folks.
I mean, two teams whose ceiling is what 7-5 in any given year.
Boston College, man, they were rolling for a bit.
Hey, prove it. Prove it.
Doug Flutie Magic coming back with Jeff Halfley. All right, folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. We're on, like I said, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on any platform you listen to podcasts. Tell a friend, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Not enough 5-star reviews. All right, give us a 5-star review. Take a screenshot if you do. Find us on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Show us that. We'll send you a College Football Experience t-shirt. It will look like this logo here if you're watching on YouTube. I am on Twitter at TheColbyD. You can also message me. And I will send that to you. Patty C is on Twitter at PattyC831. NC Nick is on Twitter at NC_NICK. The Sports Gambling Podcast Network's on Twitter at the SGP Network. Check out all the stuff they're doing. NFL previews already. Just a ton of great stuff with the Sports Gambling Podcast, but also with us. We also host the College Basketball Experience, where we talk college basketball year round. Subscribe to that. We also host the USFL Gambling Podcast. Freedom Cup was just won by the Birmingham Stallions and our boy Shark Dog. So check out that as the USFL completes the season and gets ready to come back for year 2. We also have a ton of other great podcasts on the family platform here. We got the MLB Gambling Podcast as that season continues to heat up. Just went to the Padres game. So, I mean, come on, you gotta check that out. Those guys are doing great work. Golf Gambling Podcast, MMA Gambling Podcast. We got you covered for all these sports. CFL Gambling Podcast, Canadian Football League heating up. Check out all those. I think you'll dig them. Get the SGPN app. It's free. And check out that merch store that I talked about. All right, folks, this is the College Football Experience. Till next time, when the Big 38 get announced, you better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.